impromptu trade that just happens out of nowhere. I was literally just getting my laundry done. And then all of a sudden I got to hear the news. One of my buddies on one of my Facebook pages I've been on for 10 years breaks the news and talks about Kadarius Toney getting traded to the Chiefs. And what a waste of a pick that was by Gettleman. I thought he was joking. I thought he was talking about that this was some type of ruse. This is just some type of rumor that was happening. And then all of a sudden I go onto Twitter for a little bit. I check out the news. And there it is. There it is. Kadarius Toney is now an ex-Giant. It's just this afternoon. Breaking news. Kadarius Toney has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs for a third-round compensary pick and for this next year and a 2023 sixth-round pick. I don't know how to feel about this. I know a lot of people are saying take out the trash. Eddie, how you doing? Mitch, how you doing? I just want to get through my monologue real quick.
Go for it. I'm just here. Go for it.
I'm stunned right now. I'm absolutely, as a Giants fan, stunned because I did not think that they would make this move. I honestly did not believe they would make this move. I thought that they were going to try to see if they can get anything out of this kid. Anything. Because the fact this wide receiver core is a disaster right now. Because of the fact that the wide receiver core on the Giants have done nothing. I thought they would wait until Toney gets healthy and see what he could do on the football field. Guess what? Obviously, I was wrong and everybody else was wrong because there was obviously issues behind the scenes with this kid. Obviously, big-time issues behind the scenes with this kid. And now look what happened. A 2021 first-round pick that the New York Giants were hoping could develop into the next good wide receiver. And now look. He's gone. Kadarius Toney is gone. Just like that. Couldn't stay healthy. Couldn't do anything on the football field. Everybody in my group, my shout out to my guys, the Big Blue Crew, Little Hammy. That was our nickname for him. Guess what? Little Hammy ain't around on the Giants anymore. He's gone. Little Hammy made an exit. Now what are the Giants going to do? Toney's now a Chief. Who's going to come in and replace Kadarius Toney now, his potential production? You got Kenny Golladay potentially on the mend. Whoop-de-doo. He's done as little as Kadarius Toney has. This is pretty much, to me, a shot at Toney that this guy was not getting the job done behind the scenes. He was a disruption behind the scenes. And all the stuff they were talking about before, that this dude was a problem backstage. A problem behind the scenes. And now look. Now the New York Giants have to really think about why the hell they made this pick last year. This kid's got so much talent, but in the end, what the hell did that talent really get them? And just like that, Kadarius Toney's career as a New York Giant comes to an end without even scoring a goddamn touchdown as a New York Giant. That's the thing that hurts the most. He did not even score a single touchdown as a New York football Giant. Not once. And now, and I agree with Coach Jay Lay, Anthony. Thank you guys, everybody, for coming by the stream. If you haven't already, please go over to my channel as well. If you're on the Hardcore Sports Network, I appreciate it. If you haven't, please go over to the my channel. Go give it a like. Go give it a sub. I had to do a live when I heard about this. I shot over, literally threw up a stream immediately because of the fact that this is big news. Because I did not think this was going to happen. I really didn't. I really thought that the Giants were going to try to see if they can get anything out of this kid. Well, clearly, I was wrong. Other Giants fans have felt the same way. They were wrong. And you know what? I have no ill will to it. If this is best for the team, goodbye to Kadarius. Good luck in Kansas City. because I want players here that are going to get the job done, that are not going to complain behind the scenes, that are not going to get injured all the time. I mean, at least what I'm seeing in the chat right now, a lot of Giants fans are positive about this news. A lot of Giants fans are not disappointed about this news at all. They're not. And I'm not really... I'm more surprised, if anything, that it actually happened. I'm not pissed that this happened. I'm not. I'm more pissed because of the fact that this kid didn't give us what we asked for as a first-round pick. This kid gave us nothing. Nothing. All he gave us was flash in the pan. Flash in the motherfucking pan. A couple of games here and there, this kid gave us on the football field. And that's it. And you know what? Like I said, good luck to him in Kansas City, because he wasn't doing this team any good being on here. All he was a guy sitting on the bench with wasted potential. Percy Harvin. That's what I think about it. Percy Harvin that did less than Harvin did. And now the New York Giants are going to move forward with the guys they have now, and maybe, like our guy Coach A. Gladney said, this team is going to go into the future now, possibly looking to find a true upgrade at the wide receiver position. And I think that the moves are not done. I think this is one of the first moves that this team is going to make. The fact you trade Kadarius Toney now proves that I think this team has got some more moves that are going to be put inside the pocket. They're up their sleeves. Now, if you want me to talk about the Nets, go watch my video this morning. Go watch my video this morning I did on the Nets, because I talked about them and that disaster last night, and I unfortunately had to call that game. How fun was that? This is a Giants thing right now because this is big news. This is really like just an absolute stunner to me. It's an absolute just shock. And to be real, I'm absolutely just at my wit's end because of this whole Kadarius Toney situation. And I'm not mad at the Giants. I'm just really, really frustrated that this kid had all the potential in the world. And he couldn't even stay on the damn field and was too busy of pretty much of a distraction backstage or back in the back. I'm not sure, honestly. We have to check the money. I have no idea. If anything, it's a first-round pick we just traded away in his second, not even his full second year. So I'm sure we're going to take a little bit of a cap hit. But at the same time, I really believe that this has more to do with the kid's backstage mentality, this kid's backstage attitude, that's the reason why they decided to trade him away. Because why the hell else would you trade away a kid with all the talent, so much talent this kid has, and you get rid of him because of the fact, two reasons. Number one, this kid can't stay on the goddamn field. Gives you little glimpses here and there. But he can never stay on the goddamn field. And number two, the kid's got an attitude behind the scenes. The kid just does not buy into this winning attitude. And it's pretty sad when your team is 6-1 that you have to trade away a player as talented as Kadarius Toney that could help this team going forward because he is too busy thinking about himself. So all this I have to say is, good luck, Kadarius Toney. Good luck in Kansas City. Because I'm not gonna crap on this kid while he's over there. Hopefully you can get your career together. But right now, you're old news. You're backdoor news. I'm worrying about this current team right now.
So,
Mitch, how you doing right now?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. They caught me off guard. I texted you or I DM'd you. Going live right now. It's huge news. And you took my advice. You went live. And all I got to say is
I was going to go live regardless.
Oh,
Bullshit. I'm pissed off. He's gonna be good. Well, you don't know. See, the problem is right now. Do we really know he's going to be great in Kansas City? Yes, Blue City. Kadarius Toney was traded today to the Kansas City Chiefs. All the check marks out there are saying it. Tom Pelissero just reported. So you know when Pelissero reports it, it's true. Check the Big Blue Crew link, Coach. It's there.
Okay, I was going to send it to him anyway.
Anybody else from the Big Blue Crew or the Hardcore Sports Network wants to hop on, be my guest. But right now, I'm just stunned. I'm disappointed. But at the same time, I'm not really surprised. I'm really not. I'm not surprised something like this would happen.
Let me ask you this, Jeff. First, his first game is going to be on I think it's April 6th. The Chiefs are on the bye. Oh, not April 6th, November 6th against the Titans. So that's his first game. And don't the Giants need wide receivers?
They do. They absolutely do. It's
So
a shame
that's my
Tony
question.
is very talented. He's good too. So good, Kansas City, but I don't think we're going to make a move for it. We possibly don't. You know what the thinking might be? Is that the Giants might just want to go with what they have right now, see if they can get anything out of Kenny Golladay when he comes back. You get rid of him after the season, and then you try to go and look for your own guys. Oh, sorry, Mac. My bad. How you doing, Mac?
I'm good. I don't know. I'm at work, so I'm on my phone.
Yeah, this is your new show. I'm going to
I
put
don't know
you
if you
guys
can hear me well.
No, I
But
can hear you very clear, bro. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I can hear you
Talk your
too.
talk.
Crystal
but
clear.
yeah, this is a move that needed to be made because we got something going. We got something going good in New York right now. And if you don't want to be here, then we don't need you here. You know what I mean? If you don't want to have that desire that the rest of this team got, you know, that fire that's in the belly of the rest of this team, then get the hell out of here. He can go be Andy Reid's problem. He can go be the Kansas City Chiefs problem. He can have a whole whatever rap career he want to have, Little Young Joker, whatever the hell he want to be called. It doesn't matter. He's no longer the New York Giants problem. Hopefully we can redeem and get some good picks for him with the draft capital we just acquired for him. And I'm all good with that because this team is 6-1 and it's been without Kadarius Toney. So we're not missing anything. We're not losing out on anything. This guy has done nothing for 2 years that he's been here, but been injured. How do he gets injuries on top of injuries? You're out with an injury and you get injured more. How do you re-injure your other hamstring while you're out doing nothing? At least I don't know. So at this point. I don't care. This guy clearly did not really want to get on the field. He didn't seem to be doing the things he needed to do to get himself ready to help the New York Football Giants. He's no longer a New York Giant. He can get the hell up out of here. He can go ahead about his business, live his life. I'm hoping maybe he can go ahead and have a good career in Kansas City. I don't even care. He can go there and become an all-pro wide receiver. I don't even care. He wasn't doing that here in New York. So so he can go ahead and roll out and have a happy life, whatever he wants to do.
I can't disagree with you. I can't because what has this kid really done to go out there and consistently show us that he's a true long-term piece? What? What has he done? Alex, you can hop on the stream if you want to. I sent you the link if you want to hop on. But seriously, what the hell has this guy done to really say he's a long-term piece? He couldn't stay on the field. He had 1 or 2 games of flash in the pan. He did nothing. He had issues backstage. He's too busy fighting with fans on Twitter. That's when you know you're done, when you're starting to fight with fans on Twitter. And I don't want to make this all about bashing Kadarius Toney. I don't. I wish him good luck. Like Max says, good luck over there in Kansas City. I wish the best for you, bro. But at the same time, he's not helping this team, sitting on the sidelines, being injured all the time. He's not helping this football team. So right now, we have to move on. We have to do what's best for the New York Football Giants. And maybe you're right, Coach, and I'll let you talk in a second. Mm-hmm. Maybe this is just the first of some moves that are going to be coming afterwards. Because that's a hole right now we have at wide receiver. And don't tell me that Kenny Golladay is the answer, because he's not.
No, what he is next.
He probably is. He is next. Absolutely. He is next.
Next year.
Yeah, next year. It ain't going to be able to happen this year, but he's next.
No doubt about it.
Hey, shout out to the 21 people in the chat. Shout out to you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you guys for coming by the stream. Coach.
What's going on, Coach? What's up, Mitch? By the way, I
What's
ain't
up?
speak to you.
Thank you for coming on, Mac. Thank you for coming on, Coach, as well as Mitch. Coach, go ahead.
I'm just here supporting my guys. That's all I'm here for.
Um, am I surprised? Yes.
Mm,
Am I mad? No. I mean, he hasn't shown us anything seriously. I mean, he's drafted as a first round draft pick. I mean, do I wish we probably had got a little bit more? Of course. But I mean, I'm looking now at his dead cap hit. It's only 784,000. So I
Mhm.
get why they let him go, as opposed to next year, because next year if you did anything it's 4 million. So this makes sense. This makes a whole lot of sense to do it right now in terms of business, but in terms of productivity, no. So, and what's the old saying? The best of ability is availability. And right now, and just as you said, I hope he goes out to KC and produces, but
Possibly.
I actually think it's more than that. I really do. I think he's just not equipped to be in New York City.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
that,
agree.
that's really what it boils down to. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, hey, you, as they say, you make it here, you'll make it anywhere. Well, go somewhere else and, hopefully you'll make it. I want to see him succeed in the NFL, because he does have a lot of talent. But,
Hmm.
I mean, it still amazes me. The biggest thing is you're going through a walkthrough and you're supposed to be coming back and then you hurt the other hamstring. I've never seen that in 41 years of being involved with football. So,
That's a first.
I mean, as I've said before, what is he doing in the off season to train his body to properly be prepared to get on the field? I mean, it's a lot, and you know, New York, they kill you. I mean, heck, you got people questioning the Yankee fans with Aaron Judge. You know, New York is a brutal market. You
Hmm.
know, you got to perform, and if you don't, you're put to task. Simple as that. And if you can't handle it, I mean, like you said, wish him well. And I'm really expecting to see something else happen. I mean, something,
What
you
do you
know,
think about this question right here by Nano Joe? Should the Giants trade for KJ Hamler or Jerry Judy?
are either one of them a number one receiver? Jerry Judy is a good number two, and we've talked about that in the past. But
Hmm.
right now, are they a number one? I mean, they can help. Let me say this: they can help improve our receiver group right now. So I'm not saying don't go get them, but the first question I'm going to ask is, are they a number one? Because that's what I'm looking for, a number one receiver. I have to look at it like that. And that's whether this year or we just stand pat and go through the season and then during the draft, we try and draft the number one receiver somewhere.
I
So,
mean, I agree, Coach. I feel you on that. I think that right. They're neither one of them are number one, but at the same time, I think they're both better
hmm
than the guys we got
hmm
right here now,
hmm exactly.
Absolutely.
currently this season. So I feel like they still upgrade that receiver room at least to get through the rest of this season, and we can go after number one maybe
Yeah.
next year, like you said, in the off season during the draft process. But right now, I feel like we do need to bring something else over here to help this passing game along a little bit more because obviously we can run the football very well with our quarterback and our running back. We
Hmm.
just need to get a more consistent passing game, some more dependable set of hands out there in the
hmm
receiving game, man. Because as we saw on Sunday, we just drop passes everywhere, man, and
Yeah.
Exactly.
it's just not going to always. That's just not going to win you games. And this team got the heart and desire, man. And we just and sometimes plays like that could have ruined the game for us just because we got receivers that can't catch the football. I mean,
Absolutely.
Well, I'm. See, if we're gonna go look for a receiver, Jeff, I've said it before. I'm following Keyshawn Johnson because he made a great point. Call Cincinnati and see about T. Higgins.
oh
Yep.
wow,
Yeah.
See,
that
Coach
would
made
be
that
love.
point, and Patton and
reach
too.
out, reach out to because they're not going to be able to pay all the talent that they have over there. And I know it's been said, well, why would they trade, T. Higgins right now? Well, I mean, you're not going to be able to pay him. At least knock on the door, scratch, sniff, see what it would take. I mean, see if there's a possibility, and if there's any possibility you pounce on that because he's definitely a number one wide receiver. Unfortunately, he's behind Jamar Chase. So I mean, and we all understand that, but he's still a number one receiver, and he would immensely help our receiving group and our offense.
Yes, he would.
So that's the
Absolutely.
first one I would
Second.
go after. Then I would go if we can't get him. Then yes, okay, go after the other one. So I'm looking for a number one first and foremost before anything. And if I can't get it, then go ahead and look at Jerry Judy. Call Pittsburgh about Chase Claypool. See whoever else is out there that can come in and definitely help this receiver group because yeah, we definitely need an upgrade immensely.
Yes, absolutely. Do you guys believe the New York Giants might either get wide receiver Jerry Judy or wide receiver DJ Moore? It's from Blue City.
Hey, it's possible now. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
I agree
possible.
with Eddie Goomba. I think we're going to get a wide receiver next year, either in the free agency trade or the draft. I think that's when we're going to get a big upgrade at wide receiver. I don't think it's going to happen in season, but you never know. Nobody
I mean, I'm
expected.
getting this.
Go ahead,
I'm
Mac.
sorry, Joe.
No,
I'm
no,
just
go
getting this
ahead.
feeling with Jerry Judy, man. I feel like something about this seems like it could really happen where he may truly become a New York Giant
Mm,
before this trade deadline. I just think Denver's season, watching their season kind of go down the toilet a little bit, and they may be looking to recoup some of that draft capital from that Russell Wilson trade, and and I can see that being really a very realistic move that Jerry Judy comes and before the trade deadline comes a New York Giant. More realistic than DJ Moore right now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
you could do
Mm-hmm.
this, Anthony. You could sign Higgins next year if you trade for him. You trade for him and then
You
extend
have to
him.
trade. You have
Yeah,
to trade for him. You
yeah. You
have
have to
to.
trade for him and then you extend him.
Then you
Keep him here
extend him.
long
Yeah.
term. It's
Yeah. You
possible.
you 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 you're going to trade for him one way or another. So whether it's this year or next year, my point is, like Keyshawn said, you got to go get a receiver like that. And then Mac is saying. I mean, I think they're going to do something. I'm kind of because of the cap, the way it is. I mean, the money. First of all, I mean, you can do things to make it work, but that's really what it boils down to. If you don't have the money, you can't do anything.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
let me see. T Higgins has a
How old is Higgins?
He's
20.
23, going to be
Still on his
24
rookie
next
20
year.
contract.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow.
he's 23.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a mil four right now, and that's prorated. So after what we've gone through 7 8 games, less 7 games right now, so that's going
yes,
to reduce that into under a mil. So
under
and then next
4-1, I
year
agree.
he's at 1.8 next year, and then after that he's a free agent. So you can extend him. You can extend him after that if you can get him. So you know,
Blue
That would be
City,
if they got that. That would be awesome.
it
They
would
would
be
have pulled that off against
fantastic.
the
It'd be an
hmm
elite wide receiver you add on the outside. He's a 6'4" guy with speed down the field. He
hmm
can create separation. He would give them
hmm
that big downfield target, and then would open things up for a guy like Wandale over the middle of the field. And then you
hmm
have a very good dynamic between the two of them.
Has
In
that
terms of Chase
even?
Claypool,
No, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go
I
ahead.
was just going to answer Blue City's question. In terms of Chase Claypool, I think he's a nice receiver, but I don't
He's
think
a
he's a
number
number
two.
one. In fact, I don't
He's
even
a
think he's
number two.
number two right now. He's playing as a number three right now in
He's a
Pittsburgh,
slot.
Claypool.
He's a slot.
Right
Yeah,
now,
he's a
he's a
slot.
number. No, but you can. I mean, like I said, I don't know what happened in Pittsburgh. I watched him at ND, and the kid was dominant, and he was a pure number one at ND.
Yes.
Can he
Yes.
develop into that? Yes, but right now his production and the way he's playing, it's not saying that he's a number one wide receiver. Like just said, 3 2 3 is where he is. On the pecking order. So, you know, would he upgrade the receiver group? Yes, but I don't know what happened in Pittsburgh that he's not producing the way I thought he was going to. Because I thought Pittsburgh got a steal when they got him.
I
So,
mean, it
but
could be a quarterback issue there too. I mean,
yeah,
it's some
yeah.
rough quarterback play there this season, obviously. With Mitchell
Yeah.
Trubisky and now the growing pains with Kenny Pickett. So
We should get an inside linebacker or a tight end. That's what Eddie Goomba says. What do you think about that,
Well, I'm
guys?
going. I'm going to say this. I understand that, and I don't have an issue with that. Just do not go after Mike Gesicki. I'm sorry. Don't.
Yeah, I don't want him. Don't want him.
Don't
Nah,
that money alone is a killer because he's 10 mil, so that's per rate you got to drop that down, but the production doesn't match what he's getting paid right now to me. Good tight
Exactly.
end, good kid. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I Barkley would love it because they were brothers at Penn State, so I get it, I understand, but. Him, he's at the bottom of my list if you're going to go after a tight end. So
I want Denzel Mims. Denzel
I
Mims
mean,
has done nothing with the Jets. He's been pretty much a guy that's been sitting in the
oh,
background that whole time. What is Denzel Mims? What is he? Do we want
he's
another big
frustrated. He's
player?
frustrated with the Jets. I know
He
that.
is. He is definitely frustrated with the Jets, but
okay. The
what is the
question
guy?
the question is, if he's happy and he's on the field, what do you consider him, a one or a two? Talent
I think
says
he's a
he can
three.
be a talent if he works hard and he really puts the time and the effort in and focuses. Yeah, high two. Yeah, high two. High two. I
Mm.
mean, right now, yeah, you're right. Based on right now, yeah, you're right. He's a three. But, I'm looking at the potential. What can he possibly do? So, you know, yeah,
Everybody
Judy,
wants
fine.
Jared Judy. Everybody wants Jared Judy now.
And what is the other thing is what are all these receivers going to cost us? Because now teams are also going to know that what the Giants are going to are looking a little desperate. So can we try and fleece them a little bit more? Now I
Yeah,
trust I trust Shane. Shane is smart. I don't think he's going to back down. But
Yep.
it might be that someone pushes the envelope and he's going to do it. So
Mm.
and the yeah, we're 6-1 with practice squad receivers. So, that's why to me it's, all right. Like Max said, I can see them going the rest of the season without, making a trade. So, but if I'm going to make a trade, T. Higgins is number one. Then I'm going after Judy, Claypool, D Moore. Well, actually, it would be T. Higgins, D Moore, Judy, and Claypool in that order.
DJ Moore's he could fit into almost any scheme, but it's going to take a lot for the Panthers to trade. I don't think the Panthers are trading him.
No, I
Panthers
don't
want to
either.
keep him. Panthers want to keep him
They're
because
not going to trade him.
their whole
Mm-mm.
goal is to go into next year and draft themselves a good
A
young quarterback
quarterback,
in that very loaded
and we
draft. And
need
what do they want? He needs playmakers. That's why DJ Moore's
exactly.
not going anywhere, and that's why Terrace Marshall's not going anywhere. They
Mm-hmm.
want to
to be
have a couple of
honest,
receivers for him to throw the ball
But
to.
McCaffrey left.
to
So
be
it,
honest,
it,
at
Yeah,
this
You,
point,
yeah,
I just want.
that's go ahead,
Go ahead, I'm
Max.
sorry. I
No,
was
go
gonna
ahead,
say I
Max.
just
Go ahead,
want
Mac.
we need to acquire a receiver that defenses have to at least respect.
Thank you.
That's one of our
Thank
problems.
you.
We don't even have a receiver on this roster right now that defenses have to respect. They
Mm-hmm.
can just
Mm-hmm.
load stack the box
No,
up
no.
against Barkley, focus on Daniel Jones. We
Mm-hmm.
get at least one guy out there that a defense
Mm-hmm.
has to at least respect. It could just make a whole
That'd
difference in
be
the offense.
nice. It'd be nice to have somebody that can at least cause a somewhat
Mm-hmm.
threat on the off instead of
Mm-hmm.
everybody bouncing the ball off their goddamn hands.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, and that to me is, a big thing. So, and it goes back to first and foremost, Shane. What Shane and David, what are they thinking? Are they
Yeah.
trusting what they're doing right now? Because I can see it going the rest of the season without it. Because look, we've gotten this far with practice squad receivers. I mean, yes, teams are going to adjust. They're going to scout. They're going to game plan for what we're doing. So yes, we have to continuously evolve. But I mean, in the same token, hey, if it ain't broke, don't. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
And then after the season, you do what you got to do to upgrade. But I really do think we need to focus on the wide receiver more than anything. And yes, inside linebacker, tight end, yes, they're critical. Interior offensive lineman, like maybe a center. I mean, yes, we got um Gates back, but he hasn't played in a while, so it's going to take some time. So right now, we still need an interior center. Maybe another interior defensive lineman, maybe, but not. It's not at the top of the list.
Mm.
Cornerback. Those if anything are the ones I think we got to focus on either through a trade. Hopefully, not as long as it doesn't strip us of anything, but more than likely, more than anything next year. But getting back to the main issue, receiver, to me that goes to number one right now.
Yes. It's by far the
Yeah.
number one. by far the number one.
Number
Yeah.
one priority right now. That's
Yeah.
definitely our biggest problem. It's just
But
the lack of talent out there at the wide receiver room. Man.
Hmm.
Our wide receiver room is terrible right now. One
Yeah.
of the worst in the league, if not the worst in the
what up?
league.
No mess, no mess.
Hmm.
I see notes. Nobody's gonna want. Yeah, nobody's gonna want.
No.
Well, him because it's his
Mm-mm.
contract.
That
What do we
contract
get with
is
him?
a
Yeah.
deal breaker.
We got a
Yeah.
compensary third round pick, Carl, as well as a 2023 sixth round pick for Kadarius Toney.
That also
So
tells me that nobody really wanted Tony because of his
no.
history.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting just, I don't want to say trash, but you're not
Thank you
getting
for coming
the
by. No
value.
mess, no
You're not
mess,
getting
no
the
chess.
compensation for his value, so his potential value. So, but I also get he hasn't been on the field, so you got to take a chance with his legs. You know
Absolutely,
what do
absolutely.
we always call him? A little hammy. So
Yeah, little
Yeah.
Hammy. Little Hammy's going to be playing his games down there on good old
well,
KC, Missouri.
and
But
hey, all I can say is what happened with the last number one draft pick that KC got from us.
yep,
Hmm.
that's a good point.
And wasn't he from Florida too? The Florida area too?
Yes, he was.
I know that's wrong. I know bad coach, bad coach, bad coach,
No, no,
bad
no,
coach.
no, no, coach, it's fine. It's all good. But first off, I want to thank the 30 strong in the chat. Thank you all for coming by this
Mhm.
impromptu live stream with myself and my guys, Mac the Giants fan, Coach Jay Gladney, Mitch Kofsky. If you guys want, you can throw your links in the chat so they're going to know where to go if they want to sub up to you guys. I appreciate everybody coming by this stream. For the breaking NFL news, Kadarius Toney is no longer a New York Giant. He's going to be playing the rest of his football on his rookie contract with the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Giants right now, are they going to go out
Mhm.
for an upgraded wide receiver? What other moves could
I
potentially
have
be on
to.
the table before Tuesday? We'll find out in the coming days.
I right now that just really amped up more than anything. I mean, I don't want to say it put it on par with the game, but right now that it's interesting because right now coming leading up to Tuesday, I'm really curious and I'm really curious what Shane is thinking. I really am because I, the
This is a
game is
question for you.
everything,
One
but
thing I'm curious
Yeah, I'll
about,
put the links
I'm
in. I'll
curious.
put the links in.
Thank you,
I'm
Mitch.
okay.
curious to see how fast he gets on the field for the Kansas City Chiefs now, because
Yeah.
that's going to also tell me a little something about Kadarius Toney. I want to see how
Hmm.
quickly he's on the field and ready to play for them all of a sudden,
If he
because
Exactly.
does,
he's giving us nothing all year.
if he
Yeah,
does, that goes into what I just said earlier. Then he's not built for New York City. Plain and simple. He's just not.
I 1000% agree. Coach, what do you think about this question by Pat Barrios
They
or
saying
Mac? Either one of you guys that want to answer it.
what's the difference?
Oh, sorry.
Well, the comp picks are usually after the round. So, for example, you go through 1 through 32 in the third round, and then they get the comp picks, which you lose players who sign away from your team and go to another team, and based on their value, the compensation is either moved from what third to sixth. Is it third to sixth,
I
or
believe
is it
it's
a
third to
seventh?
six. I might be wrong on that one, but I think so.
No, but based on their value, you can get as high as a third and as low as a six. So,
Jonathan Schrift.
it's just extra picks that they're putting in that the teams can draft extra guys instead of just 32 players for each round.
Mm,
32 times 7 rounds. So, it's just extra picks that are added on, and it gives
mm,
other players opportunities, and also guys who might be high fourth rounders are being bumped up into the third. That also contractually allows them to make more money because instead of getting a fourth round contract, you're getting a third round contract.
mm, absolutely. Now Wandell is going to have even a bigger role. Expect the Giants to trade for a wide receiver now. Cough, cough. What is Odell Beckham right now? He's coming off his second straight torn ACL. What is he got? What is this guy? That's the problem. Is what is Odell Beckham right
Look,
now,
look,
Sly?
look, look. Odell, I love I loved Odell when he was here. I'm sorry, that's me, but I'm also realistic. He's coming off of a ACL injury, so you see our histories with ACLs. Number two, he played for the Rams last year. I think he's going to go back to the Rams. He's going to see. He's going to test the market, see if he can make a little bit more money because he hasn't been paid for this whole year. So whoever's going to pay him the most, but LA, because they are the defending champions and he knows the system, it makes more sense for him to go out there and he would help that offense and elevate what they're doing, especially after what San Francisco did in getting CMC. So, but again, he's also not expected to come back till what, December, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, sometime in December is when he's going to make his decision on where
Yeah.
he'd like to play for the rest of the season.
Yeah. So now if he came here, I'm going to root hard for him. I want him to do well. Could he help the offense? Yes, but he's at a point in his career. He's chasing championships, man.
Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's the bottom line. He's got money. He's got everything else. It's now about championships and his legacy on the field. So, now if we were in true championship position, would it make sense? Yes. So I mean, that's how I see that. But
And just for nothing, I mean, look, I like you just said, Coach. Look, I got Odell Beckham's Rookie of the Year plaque on my wall. Everything. I love Odell Beckham for his years while he was here as a New York Giant. But at the reality now, at this point in his career, he's an injury waiting to happen, man. This guy
Yes.
can't stay healthy for nothing, man. And it's unfortunate, but it's just the truth. And do we need to invest more money in guys that just can't stay healthy? Like you said, availability is the best ability. So he's just not available enough at this point in his career, man. He's always getting injured. If it's all kinds of soft tissue injuries. I mean, even with his tenure here in New York, it was just one injury after another, man. So it's unfortunate, but I just think it's not the direction this team needs to be going in right now.
All right, let me catch up to some of the comments in this comment section. Jet Life says that he thinks Toney will be on the field this weekend.
That'd be disappointing.
That would be pretty much a slap right in the Giants' face if that happens. Compensary in the sense that the third can turn into a second. I think he's talking about the third round compensary pick. I'm not sure. It's possible that could happen. Maybe it depends on how many games he plays and the type of production he puts up for Kansas City the rest of the season, that they can boost that compensary pick up to a second round. Nobody is safe playing for the New York Giants. Any player for the New York Giants can be replaceable. Well, that's in any sport. Any sport, any player can be replaced. I mean, if you find somebody that could be an upgrade, even Daniel Jones or Saquon Barkley could be upgraded. I know I'm just kidding, but
no.
That's
That's the reality.
It is a reality.
It's like any business. I mean, if you're working for your job, be real. You can be replaced
anytime, man.
Absolutely.
So
the Giants aren't going to stop playing football.
No, we're going to keep going at it. We're going to keep playing football no matter what, with or without number 89. So he's just a footnote now.
Oh, he doesn't get a name now.
What up, Taj? Taj, you can hop on if you want to.
Up,
exactly. We don't need OBJ. We got to start fresh. We got to get fresher, younger talent. New start, no leftovers. He's right. We do. We need to get younger talent on this team.
Like Matt said earlier, I mean, we don't think it's going to. I mean, next year's receiver class is not. It's not devoid of talent. I mean, if you really go through and you look at it and you break down a lot of the players, now you got to do your work, but there is talent there, even in the depth. I mean, I'm looking at one board right now, and there's plenty of kids who are in the 20 range who I'm like, okay, they might be able to make it. I mean, A.T. Perry from Wake Forest. I mean, is he a product of his system? But he has talent. I mean, I'm just going through looking at some guys and calling out names. So
what up, Dash? How you doing, bro?
And it do these receiver, and don't forget Shane and Dable. They came from Buffalo, where they found guys who were late in the draft, and they produce up there in Buffalo, so they know what they're doing. Jerry
Judy, DK Metcalf could be giant. Well, we'll see what happens. I absolutely trust Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. Brandon Beane and Shane, first year in Buffalo, traded Sammy Watkins. Where is he now? That's true.
That's true.
That's a good point. Sammy Watkins was another highly rated first round pick, and look what happened.
Metcalf won't come because he's hurt, and they just re-signed him.
Yes, they re-signed him to a big deal. Mission Man, what's going on, bro? Thank you so much for coming by the stream.
Dash.
Salute to you, Dash. Dash,
Big Dash.
you guys haven't
Good,
already?
Dash.
Go sign up to Big's Dash Knows.
Mhm.
Big Dash Knows, one of the up-and-coming, big-time New York Giants content creators. This guy is changing the game in the YouTube community. This guy is one of the best when it comes to breaking down film, talking Giants. Got great, funny little clips that he throws into his videos and stuff. Big Dash, he's coming. You guys, if you haven't already, go sub up to this kid. Awesome job Dash does. As well as everybody else on this panel. Make sure you go sub up to them. As well as our guy right here, Big Blue in the Bronx. Great New York Yankees fan. I know he's still pissed about that. Great New York Knicks fan, as well as New York Giants fan. Make sure you guys sub up to him too. If you want to throw your links in the chat, guys, you can. Alex as well as Dash, so people know where to go if they want to sub up to your channels. So thank you guys so much for coming by the chat, and the 25 strong right now.
I can just say one thing, and all the Giants fans will hate me.
What's that? Say it, Mitch.
Eagles are 6-0. Everyone in the chat's gonna hate me now.
Okay. See, you want?
No, I'm not you. I'm not you.
No. I got it. The same thing I say to my brother when he teases me. I just go bling, 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 bling.
I think we shouldn't rush either. I agree. Hey, man. This makes you wish Joe Judge chose Micah Parsons. We got Evan Neal. Look.
But he's out.
Let me say that. Let me go back to that for a second. I get it, and yes, Micah Parsons is that talent, but with that trade, we got 2 number 1 draft picks. So I get it. Micah Parsons is up there, but we got 2 guys who solidified the position. Tibbs and Micah. Now, Tibbs is not in Micah's stratosphere, but he's more than bless you. He's more than capable of playing at a Pro Bowl level, borderline All Pro. So, and then to get a top level offensive tackle, that's why I'm like, I don't think that. I think that was a good trade. It's just that we didn't keep Toney. That's the bottom line. We would have had three number 1 draft picks if you break it down for that number 11 pick. So, but yes, Micah Parsons. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved Micah Parsons, but what we got for it, it doesn't make me wish I got Micah Parsons. Not me.
Yeah. The Jets are not trading Elijah Moore. They're going to keep him. They need him right now because Breece Hall's out for the season, and for the fact that Corey Davis is banged up. And that Jets team needs a little bit of a spark at that wide receiver core, so they're going to try to make it work with Elijah Moore.
He's right. Tibbs was the number 1. I apologize. I was wrong about that. But still, it's Toney. What did we get? We got Toney.
Tony and Evan Neal, and I think is the Daniel Bellinger pick. Was that?
I think it was the Bellinger.
I think that draft choice was also part of that trade. Yeah.
But that's my point. We got great value and bodies to fill. Missing
what up,
spots.
Unpopular Opinion Sports? If you want to drop your link as well, drop it in the chat so people know where to find you. If you want to hop on, what did Dash say?
Look underneath. He said, "Wait a minute, we traded Toney." Yes.
Yes, Dash. Yes, look at the title. I didn't write it there just as a joke. Yes, we traded Toney.
That's what this random middle afternoon on Thursday stream is about, brother.
Yeah, Dash. Why the hell would I put that up there as the title? Why would we all be running on here and the entire chat blowing up?
I'm literally at work still. I'm up in a parking garage at my job on this stream right now.
I'm sitting in my car right now too, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm sitting outside right now, just listening to this.
This is what he says. This is what I do when it's time to work. The link is in the Big Blue Crew chat, NYG22. So if you want to hop on.
Yeah, Micah probably would have knocked us. Yeah, that's another point. Micah would have knocked us out of the high draft picks. It's a possibility. That is a possibility. We probably would have won more than 4 games.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I was shocked too, Mission Man. I did not expect him to get traded. I thought they were going to do everything to work it out with Toney. I was blown away when they actually traded him. Am I mad? No. Like Coach Mack and Mitch said, no. Am I surprised? Yeah, a little bit.
So if you go that route, then Micah did not get drafted. Micah did get us Tibbs in a sense because we might not have been at 5 to get him.
Exactly.
A possibility. But I'm just glad this is all resolved. No, I'm just glad I don't have to wake up in the morning think about us. Kadarius Toney gonna play this week. Is he practicing hard?
True.
Yeah,
I don't even think
exactly.
about that no more. You know what I mean?
True.
It's over
Yeah.
with.
That was
Like
the
you
all
said, that
season chat.
we can just go be Kansas City's problem. You know, like
And here
that's
it is,
it.
Mr. Unpopular Opinion Sports, NYG22. What is going on, my brother?
What's cracking? Can y'all hear me?
Oh,
Yo.
okay,
Yes,
loud and
sir.
clear, bro.
Yeah,
Right?
I think this is my first
Yeah,
time
I'm
on a
good,
live
man.
with you, bro. I think this is my first time on a live with you.
That's good, man. That's good, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to chime in on this breaking
Mhm.
news. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because
What up, Rob?
this is big news, man. I'm gonna tell you why it's big news, man. Because not only are the Giants getting extra draft capital, but what we all been saying, man, Tony isn't a fit. You know what I'm saying, for what Brian Dable and them trying to do. You know, they can't get out of Kenny Galladay's contract. So this was the next best thing they could have did was get Tony off the team. Now, for the Chiefs standpoint, it's also a good deal because they can
Mhm.
turn Tony into their next Tyreek Hill. You
Yep.
know,
Good
if
point.
he's healthy. So, but they're
Mhm.
taking a chance. But they can afford. You can afford to take a chance if you're the Chiefs. You know,
Mhm.
given their resume and accolades and all that good stuff. Now, here's the thing people are missing. Giants been looking for a number one wide receiver.
Mhm. You
Yes,
said
they
it.
are.
They
Mhm.
can take this draft capital and go get a DJ Moore or go get a Jerry Judy or go get what we talked about the
Mhm.
other night, T. Higgins.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So there might be another move
Yep.
coming down the alleyway here if you think about it, because you know they got a third. That's a high pick to get for a guy that hasn't played only 12 games out of his career and has
Mhm.
Yeah.
barely done anything. That's a steal in my opinion. You know, because
Mhm.
to get a third and a six, now it's gonna be a low third, but still you could take that third, package it with another third, your other
Mhm.
third, and another pick, a future pick, and go get a true number one wide receiver that does fit your system.
Mhm.
Obviously, Tony didn't want to be here. He's been chirping with the fans on Twitter. You know, he got some immaturity
Yeah,
issues.
he is.
And he just wasn't playing. You know,
Mhm.
and nobody's trying to wait from him. They saying, oh well, he can get healthy, which
Mm,
is good for him. And I'm glad they traded him to the AFC. That was also
yes.
smart.
Yes.
You didn't
Yes.
want
Mhm.
Dallas or Philly or somebody like that to get their hands on him.
Oh
So
Mhm.
man, damn it!
kudos. Yeah, I
No
know.
one wants a
But y'all
6 yard
making
out
moves
route for
too,
Daniel
man.
Jones
But
every time.
Hey, we got Robert Quinn.
Whoa, RJ, what do you mean? He will be a star in Kansas City. No one wants a 6 yard out route for Daniel Jones every time. Sell Daniel Jones before making a mistake and signing him long term.
Ooh.
Yeah,
well,
Uh oh.
who's on the field performing and who ain't? Just answer
exactly.
that question.
Who run out the locker room
Uh,
That's
on
a good
Sunday?
point.
Because it ain't
Daniel
Kadarius
Jones is
Toney. It's
performing.
Daniel
hold on a
Jones.
minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a
Daniel
minute. Hold on a minute.
Jones sprained his ankle. Looked bad as hell against Chicago. Was out there the next week in London, giving it his all for his football team. Kadarius Toney's not. So right now, this team ain't
Facts.
about Daniel Jones hate. This is about Kadarius Toney
It's
being
Tony.
traded, and that's
But
what this
if
is about.
Yeah, let's put the
You know what I
Daniel
if
mean?
Jones stuff to the
wait a minute,
side.
wait a minute. The one
I
thing
mean,
I
I
want to
can
say
always.
is that you're talking about 6 yard out. That's another system. That's not this system. So that's the other coaching staff.
Right,
So
exactly what Sly said in the chat.
Who
yeah.
have we beat? How about
Every,
Baltimore and how about
No
Green
the
one.
Bay?
six
No one.
teams that
No
have
no
been
no
on our
no no
schedule.
no 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 no. We haven't beaten anyone. We're the worst 6-1 team in NFL history.
We
So
suck.
come
We
on, give it
suck.
to us. Give it to us. Give it to us. You know what did Jay-Z say? Brush that shit off your shoulder, man.
Yeah, we beat the teams that's on our schedule. That's what we
Yeah.
beat.
Keep it
You
going.
didn't beat us yet.
So
Yeah,
What?
we played
Green Bay
you.
not.
I
We
Green
know.
Bay
That's
was
will
my
beat
good
point.
until we
you.
beat them.
We will beat
Baltimore was
you.
good until we beat them. You
No,
know.
we're
Now
splitting.
they ain't
We're gonna
nobody.
split.
Now they
We're
shit.
splitting.
hey, if we split,
Yeah,
it's still
thank
we're
you.
beating you. If
Yeah,
we
I
split,
know.
it's still
I'm
we're
saying
beating
it's
you.
not gonna
So
be a sweep. It's not gonna
Okay.
be a
yeah.
sweep. I have us
So
splitting.
Was anybody
so
saying that Green Bay was a bottom 10 team at the beginning of the
Jeff,
season?
ignore it. Ignore that because that's like that other kid. You know, whatever his name
He
is.
trolling. Clearly, he
Yeah.
trolling,
Oh,
man, because
I
he,
know he's trolling. He's
yeah,
probably a Dallas Cowboy
So
or Philadelphia Eagle.
right,
I'm not.
or
Let
a
it go.
dang
Let
on
it go.
Commandos fan.
let's get back to the
If
subject
it's an
matter,
Eagles fan,
Tony.
if it's
Yeah,
an Eagles,
I'm with
if
Coach on
he's
that.
in,
Let's stay on
Yeah.
our
All
topic.
right, let's
You
go
know what I
back to
mean?
yeah,
Tony. Everybody, let's get it.
I'm
All right,
just
now
saying
going
this. I'm
forward,
just gonna say
what are we
this real
going to
quick.
do?
If he's an Eagles fan, I don't claim him. If he's an Eagles fan,
Nah, bro, I ain't paying that no mind. What I just say? I'm brushing that off my
hey,
shoulders.
awesomeness. How are your
What up,
Commanders?
Awesomeness Sports? Thank you for coming by the stream, bro.
So now getting
Hey,
back, yo,
Xavier.
NYG.
Xavier McKinney in the chat. What's up,
Yeah.
Xavier?
What up, Xavier?
What's that?
Doing an
So
awesome job out there. Thank you for that strip sack against Travis Etienne. We appreciate that
exactly,
sincerely. Keep up the good play. You're on your way to an all-pro season, bro. Go ahead, Coach.
yo, all right. Rate the receivers you would target right now, NYG, in order.
T
Number
Higgins.
one.
T
No,
Higgins is one
mm-hmm.
automatically. If you can get T Higgins, man, you know,
Thank you,
hey,
Sly.
they got the capital now. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Send them a
Doing good,
second
bro.
and a third. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
got the extra third now. Send them a second and a third. We talked about a first, but now you don't have to give
Mm-hmm.
up a first. You can give a
Mm-hmm.
second and a third. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? DJ Moore, I'm warming up to Judy a little bit. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So I put
Mm-hmm.
Judy at 2.
Mm-hmm.
Probably DJ Moore than Claypool, if those are the guys that we're
Mm-hmm.
talking about that are
Mm-hmm.
available.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I would rank them. Go get T Higgins. That's who
Mm-hmm.
you need.
Yes.
Facts. Go get to T
Yeah.
Higgins. You got the capital to do it now. Go make it, get it done. That's what I'm
Matt,
saying.
what about you? How would you rank, potential receivers right now if we're going to do a trade?
Well, like you
Yeah.
said, y'all brought the T Higgins thing to light today for me. So definitely, that's definitely number one for me as well. T Higgins is an absolute dog. He's a stud. We get him,
Mm-hmm.
that's a game changer. Uh, but I also, like I said, I like Jerry Judy. I like what Jerry Judy brings to the table. So I like his route running. I like his hands. I think he's a major upgrade to what we got right now. So I'll be good with Jerry Judy as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I still think he's probably maybe the most realistic one that we have a chance at
Mm-hmm.
trading for right now. I
Mm-hmm.
think if we were gonna make a move before this season's out, before the trade deadline. And then like the other guys, like I said, DJ Moore, that just right now these guys are all upgrades. So at the end of the day, it's almost like ranking them is like kind of like they're all upgrades to what we got right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
agree.
now, with Judy, let me ask everyone this, all right? Because we know Denver right now is spinning out of,
Disarray, yeah.
yeah, but
Oh, the Miz was
if
all
they,
about Tony. So I'm
Oh,
sure the
I
Miz
know he
is
about to go
Miz,
Oh
off.
wait,
Miz is gonna go off on this one. Wait till the
they
Miz has
just
his video.
announced Kadarius Toney's cap hit, his salary and cap hit for the next 3 years. They just
Go ahead.
announced it. For 2022, 784K,
Mhm.
223, 1.907 mil. 2024, 2.531 mil.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it
Thank
ain't
you,
about
Miz.
the money, but it's about the fact that the guy can't stay healthy and he's not a locker room fit.
No.
He's not a New York City fit, period.
Exactly.
So, but my
Shout out to you,
question is
Mission Man. Appreciate you, bro.
when I go back to Denver, all right? If they're looking to trade Judy, doesn't that say that they're basically punting on the season?
On the season,
And
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that also opens up the door for that coach to be fired. Unfortunately, that scares me because I'll be honest. I think Denver would come right after.
Wink.
Yeah, I don't want to say it,
I
but
think Wink's going to be getting a lot of coaching
and
offers in the offseason.
And
And
that's
would,
Captain
fine.
maybe too.
And that's
Captain maybe
fine.
too.
but my main point
Kafka, I
was
don't know so much, but he
no.
still might need another year.
It might, because of the fact the way that Giants offense and Daniel Jones is playing, they're going to look at it and be like, you know what, it's Dayball, but it's also Kafka, and they might say maybe this is one of those young prodigies like a Sean McVay that's coming into his own as an offensive coordinator, and some team might take a chance on
I
him.
think it's a
So,
few guys ahead of Kafka right now. Even looking at
Mhm.
over there at Dallas with Moore, he might be ahead of Kafka right now. It's a couple other guys out there that's doing a thing that's been doing it for a while. The 1 year that Kafka got or has right now under his belt, I don't think that's going to be enough
what
truly
up,
to
Adam?
really. What's good, Adam?
Hey,
If you want to
yo.
hop on too, bro, you can hop on with us if you have some time. Go ahead, MYG.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't think Kaepernick's gonna get as much recognition as Wink Martindale this off-coming
Right.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, my question in terms of Denver is there any other player on that team that you would be possibly interested in bringing in that you think could help this organization?
Mitch, can you send the link over to Adam's Twitter, please?
I.e.,
It's in the group chat,
I.e., I'm looking at
right?
Patrick Surtain the second.
Yes.
All right. It's in the group chat, Adam, but I'll still send it to you.
That's
What's up,
interesting.
Michael?
Interesting
How you
name.
doing, bro? He was another
That's why I
Antonio
asked that,
Brown,
because
fragile glass, please.
if Denver's doing that, I mean, I'm not only talking about a receiver. I'm also trying to see if there are any other
Oh
players
God.
on that roster that that could benefit us, that really could help us and push us even further going into the playoffs, because ultimately that's what it is for this year. We're trying to move on. Now, we're not trying to kill the future. I'm not saying that, but
Yes.
I'm also looking at, well, if you're going to trade him, is there anyone else that you might be interested in getting rid of? And I would say Patrick Surtain II. I don't think it would happen, to be honest with you, but I'm trying to sniff
Oh
and
my
see.
God, I would love Patrick
I think
Surtain the second. I'm a big
Oh,
fan
I would
of
hate
Surtain.
that. I
Big
would
fan of
hate.
Patrick Surtain.
I would hate that.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to want some young pieces on that team to build around,
Right,
even if
right.
his coach is one and done. But, I mean, if we have an opportunity ever to get a Patrick Surtain Jr., you know we would have to jump
Because
on that.
if they're trading Judy, I'm really going to start thinking, okay, well, what else can I get? Because now that tells me it's just like Carolina. Yes, they
Mitch is
want.
still looking for the link. Can you send him the link in his private Twitter, please?
I did.
It's in your private Twitter, Adam. Go ahead, Coach. I apologize.
No, that's pretty much it. I mean, thoughts. I mean, am I just throwing shit in the wind, or
No, I think that's a reasonable. I think they could be looking at corner. They could be looking at linebacker. What about the guy from Chicago?
Roquan Smith. Yep.
Yeah. What if
Roquan
they use
Smith.
that capital to go get a Roquan Smith? So
I mean, Chicago. Yeah, you're right. Chicago just traded what's his name. So
Yeah, just rated Robert Quinn to Mitch's team over there. So
yeah, so
Yes, sir. That was for a 4th-round pick.
see,
That's all.
and that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm looking at that and what we just got for Tony, and it's like, okay, well, maybe guys that you can get guys at a lower draft capital as opposed to first or second round draft picks, because
Yeah.
I'm not saying Quinn is elite, but to me he's more than a 4th round draft pick.
he's solid overall.
Yeah,
Even at his age,
solid.
He's
He's
solid.
solid.
He adds another dynamic to that pass rush group, what they have already over there.
What could you get for a Quinn? If that's possible. So it's like, like NYG said, yes, now we could take certain draft capital and do certain things and still not hurt the future,
Right.
Absolutely.
and also not hurt the future cap. So I'm just like, this move right now, me, I always talk about football is like chess. This is now chess moves. I'm sitting here trying to figure out, okay, what's the next move? What is this move, that move, and that move? Because I'm trying to figure 3 moves ahead. And that's why I'm like,
Go back up to Anthony's comment real quick, please.
Right there. How you doing,
look,
Adam?
Mike
Hello
Thomas,
there.
man, another phenomenal talent that can't seem to stay on the field, man. I don't want to
Mike
keep.
Thomas.
I don't want to keep investing in guys that can't stay healthy. I mean,
Exactly.
I see the talent. I understand where you're coming from the talent standpoint, but this guy can't stay healthy. He basically hasn't played football in almost 2 whole years, basically,
Yes.
other than the couple games he's just played this year before he got hurt again. So it's like it's just no point in investing in guys that have a history of not being able to stay healthy, man.
You need
But
young talent with
you
upside.
need a dynamic receiver.
Well,
how about this? This now aligns you with Jerry Jeudy, because before you didn't have to give up draft capital. You had to give up your own draft capital. Now you got 2 picks that aren't yours, that are somebody else's picks that you can now package for a Jerry Jeudy. Right. So now you can still keep your. Let's say there's 7 picks. I don't know how many the Giants have right now, but let's say there's 7 plus these 2 is 9. You now can say, hey, you know what? We'll give you this 3rd, which by the way is way down the list. We'll give you this 6th round pick and our 5th for Jerry Jeudy, right? Because I know they're gonna ask a lot. They know the Giants are desperate. You just traded a receiver. Denver's not gonna be like, hey, yeah, this is Kmart. We're just gonna give you a sale right now. No, they're gonna be like, all right, let's raise the ante. What can you give me? Because we lost a lot of capital with the Russell Wilson trade, so we're gonna need some capital back. So what can you give me? So this, to me, if they don't do anything, then maybe they're trading. Maybe they'll use this to trade up in the draft to get somebody they like. If they don't do that, I think the trade deadline is week 10, if I'm not mistaken. So
no, it's Tuesday.
This Tuesday.
Oh, is this Tuesday coming up?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. So well, you never know, man. Maybe this is it. Maybe we make a trade in the next couple hours to bring somebody in, because you bring in Jerry Jeudy now after this game. Let's say on Tuesday you're on your bye week. That allows him to fly in, meet with the coaches, kind of get, what role he's going to be playing, and gives him that whole week to kind of, get prepared. And then the next week you have him for, your game against Detroit or Houston, whoever we play next, come out to buy. So I love Joe Shane. I love this guy. I love what they do, man. He's aggressive. We knew that. I said this to Miz. We always have this conversation. I said they probably wanted to do this in April, but Pat Leonard screwed it up when he leaked the information to them, because remember they said something along the lines of, we want everybody here and the playbook, and Tony's on the block, and all of a sudden he shows up. Now you can't be like, oh well, we traded him because you just said that you wanted the guy here and all this stuff. So now they were kind of like caught with their pants down a little bit, because Pat Leonard ruined it. And I told him, I said they probably wanted to do this long ago, but because that happened and he showed up, the PR would be nightmarish. Oh well, you told him that he needed to show up, he's here, now you're going to trade the guy. You know what I mean? So I think this was in the works. It was just a matter of time. They didn't like him.
Let me float something out to y'all real quick. Is it possible they was keeping Tony off the field so they could trade him?
Probably. The thing, and here's why I'll give you that nugget, because the other day he was seen on the practice field running sprints last week.
Exactly.
This week, he's nowhere to be found. So they probably were like, let's test him out. Can he run? Oh, he's good. Boom. Keep him off the team. We're going to see if we can get a trade for him. And now here we are, right? So, and his other hamstring miraculously went. I think it was in the works. They didn't like this kid from the jump.
Alex has got a point. Maybe they didn't put him on IR for a reason.
That's a good point. It's a great possibility. But on the flip side, aren't you limiting the capital you could have gotten for him if he's not on the field? Because now if people see him on the field and he's producing,
but if he gets hurt, if he really gets hurt, when he's on the field,
it goes both ways.
That's going to be So I think they was just bubble wrapping him, so to speak, so to make sure he didn't go out there and get hurt, so they could get some value for him.
Let me ask
real quick. I want to say this real quick. You're getting an afternoon session of a mixture of the premium takes and the heart of the city. So you guys are getting a fusion of 2 great shows mixed together. So I hope you're enjoying. Zion, where the hell are you, bro?
Actually, the thing about it that I want to say is that I agree with what you said, Coach. However, I look at it like this: what were you going to get for him? His production is minimal. Right? It's not like he had 1,000 yards and then was injured and then was a malcontent. He didn't do much. So it wasn't. So the fact that we got a 3rd round pick for a guy that has not played much football in two years is ridiculous. He's got one great game on tape. One great game on film. The Cowboys game from last year. That's like his only great game, and he still didn't even get in the end zone in that game. So it's just like.
No,
right.
You're right.
Tony, I think he's better than Tony. In 2 games he's played, he's made a bigger impact than Tony has in 2 years. Well, you know what Wandale has, but Tony doesn't? A touchdown! He's got a touchdown for the Giants. Wandale actually scored a touchdown.
And a touchdown period. Kadarius Toney scored a touchdown.
When did he score? When did Wandale score? On Sunday?
Against the Ravens.
Yeah,
Ravens,
Oh, wow.
Well, the thing is, what scares me though is even though we got rid of Toney, the fact that the Eagles are sniffing around Alvin Kamara, it just gives me a freaking nightmares, man.
They're
Yeah.
getting Kamara too.
Yes,
They
sir.
are good.
Oh
They're
my
going
God,
all in
Howie
for a title.
Roseman.
I get they're going all in for a title, but honestly, I don't care what other teams are doing right now because I want to make sure this team keeps staying the course and getting and keep rebuilding this the right way. And right now, it's going in a very good direction. And I just want to see what we can continue to do. Other teams can do what they want to do. Eagles, I don't know. They might be capable next couple of years. Some of the moves they're making. Honestly, Mitch, to be honest, I'm not sure if y'all gonna
there
be
we go. This
Exactly. They
logo's
better
better.
win it. They better win it. Because if
They
they
do.
don't, it's gonna be hell to pay.
Oh, believe
Well,
me, I know that. I just love this
They have
logo
a-
right here. I'm gonna throw this up there.
They have a
But,
couple. They have a couple years because their quarterback does not have to be paid. So now you bring in the pieces now to get your run going. Then you deal with the consequences later.
I'm
That's
just
what happens.
curious on
Like
what we would
that's
give
where the
up
Giants
for
are
him.
right now. The Giants are where the Eagles were, right? The Eagles were supposed to rebuild last year. They were supposed to be fourth place last year. Nick Sirianni comes in, changes the whole culture, and they went to the playoffs wild card. Now the Giants are kind of in a similar situation. They bring in Brian Dable, and here they are. So we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens.
I'm still mad about the rock, paper, scissors, and the flowers.
Oh, that's funny as hell. The flowers thing was just the funniest goddamn thing.
I hated that. I was so mad. I was like, "Are you kidding
No,
me?"
I can't discount what the Eagles are doing. They know they have a team right now that is going for it. They know they have a solid core together, so they're trying to do everything they can to win. And you know what? The Giants should have that same mentality a little bit, that we have a team right now that is surprising people, but at the same time, we're like the Eagles of last year, like you guys said. We're the Eagles of last year. We're a team that came out of nowhere. We're playing great football, but we're still a team that has some flaws. And maybe next year is when
No, we do too. We do too. We can't score all four quarters.
The difference I see with the Eagles are built to win a championship. They legitimately have a team built to win a title right now. We're
I
playing
said
above
last year.
their road, so to speak.
No,
I said last year.
Last year,
I said last year.
We got players playing above their pay rate right now. You know what I mean? Whereas the Eagles they're picking up extra pieces now, almost like insurance policy. Basically, they're pushing the chips all the way in the middle of the table. They want to win it.
Mac, what I was saying was last year when we were on the streams with everybody, we all laughed and thought the Eagles were going to be fourth place, right?
Yeah.
They ended up going to the playoffs, unbeknownst to us, right? So they were ahead of their rebuild schedule. Then next year, which is this year, they came out and now they're like, all right, we're a winning team. We're going to win it all because we jumped the shark last year in our rebuild. We got a lot further than we thought. So now let's go get the championship now that we have this quarterback in his third year of his contract. Let's go do it now. What I'm saying is the Giants are the Eagles from last year. They didn't expect to win the way that they're winning. They even told us, hey, we don't care about the record.
And I agree, Adam. And you know what? Put the Eagles in contention this year. A.J. Brown. That's what I'm saying. So go get Daniel Jones, a A.J. Brown type. Don't got to be on that level, but get him a number one, and let's see where this team can go.
Yes.
Right up.
I'm at the point, like I said earlier, just get them somebody that a defense has to respect.
Somebody that can catch the ball.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Jerry Jeudy is the guy, because he's under contract and he's cheap, and he's first rounder. You can get him. You can get him for the next 2 years, 3 years, right? Because he was drafted in 2020, right? You can get him. You can get him on the fifth-year option if you want him, and he's not going to break the bank for you. And AJ Brown. The reason why they got AJ Brown is, guess what? Their quarterback ain't paid yet. So they can go out and get an A.J. Brown and fit him under the contract. You go out and pay Daniel Jones, you're not going to be able to get A.J. Brown. So what do? You go out and get Jerry Jeudy because you don't have to pay him for a couple years. He's a first-round guy. He's better than any talent you have on the team, and you can let him develop. My thing would be this.
Or T. Higgins.
Yes.
He's under contract too.
Either one of those guys that you get, you bring him in now, you give him the rest of this year to get acclimated to the Brian Dable offense, right? And then boom, away you go next year in 2024 when you have your draft capital to move up and go get guys you want, like a cornerback, or a dynamic linebacker or a defensive player or something like that,
True mission, man. And Thank you so much, everybody. The 29 strong in the chat. I appreciate it. I love it. Thank you guys so much. And if you have not already, make sure you guys sub up to all these great content creators. If you guys want, drop the links. Drop your links in the chat so they know where to find you. Mac the Giants fan, Mitch Kofsky, AC, a.k.a. Adam Costas, Mr. Unpopular Opinion Sports, and the Mr. X's and O's, Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, and I'm here, NYG Jeffy T85. We're bringing you the breaking news about Mr. Kadarius Toney, Mr. Zero touchdowns for the New York Giants. He's now a Kansas City Chief.
Well, thank you for having me on the show because
this has been awesome, man.
Definitely appreciate you, Jeff.
I really got to go get back to work, though, man.
Yeah, they're probably wondering where the hell you are right now, Mac. Like,
I just realized that.
This is dude been the whole time. You're not in the garage right now. The past hour or so.
Hey, look, this is important. This is breaking news, bro. This is big news. But I do got to get back and get some work done. So I'll be listening to y'all, man. Thanks, man. It's been fun, man. I'll talk to y'all.
No doubt about it. Thank you.
All right, Mac, man. You have a good one, man.
Mac, I'll see you on Wednesday, homie.
Yes, sir.
Let me see.
Can you go back to the Mission Man's comment about the Eagles going through the draft?
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, we did get some pieces in the draft, some core pieces. So we did get a Jordan Davis. We did get a Kobe Dean. We did get a Devontae Smith last year.
They have 2 first-round picks next year. Give me a break.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, what the hell?
Howard's done a really good job.
Wait a minute, hold on. They got 2 first-rounders?
Yes, sir. We got,
Who's
we
first
had
rounder
3.
y'all got?
We had
Seattle.
3.
They got Seattle's?
Yeah, they have Seattle's first-round pick.
And the Saints.
And the Saints?
Howie Roseman's done a fantastic job with that team.
Yeah, we have 2 or 3.
Oh, my God.
And the Saints are definitely marching in.
Pags, you're right. Logan Ryan, Solder, Booker, Bradbury, and Galladay. We're paying $65 million for guys that not even play until we fix that. The future is bright. You're right.
Exactly.
You're absolutely 1,000% right, bro. Well, the full move, at least the move that's been talked about so far, Nova, is that it's Kadarius Toney to the Chiefs for a conditional 3rd-round pick and a 2023 6th-round pick.
I hate to say that he's going to ball out. He's going to ball out with the Chiefs, yo.
You know what's funny,
Jeff? He's going to ball out with that team.
You know what's funny, Jeff? You and I were talking about, I forget when it was, we were talking about how this trade deadline is going to be not as big as what we thought it was going to be. We thought it was going to be like a couple small trades and whatever. I mean, look at what happened. Like, hell, Robinson from the Jaguars went,
that move made sense. The Jets needed a running back after they lost Breece Hall. I thought maybe they'd go for it. What are they going to do about their offensive line because they don't have Elijah Vera Tucker anymore, which is a big blow. And then obviously you guys getting Robert Quinn, another.
The only reason we got Robert Quinn is because Derek Barnett got injured. If Derek Barnett did not get injured, I don't think we would have got Robert Quinn.
I guess.
And then if David Ojabo did not get injured before the draft, we would have got him instead.
Don't need to grab no more free agents as well. No, they don't. I mean, the Eagles.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. We need all the pieces that we can get.
But I have a question to throw out there to you guys. Do you think there's a wide receiver possibly that could be on the market that we're not even talking about that could possibly be a trade target? You always see guys that come out of nowhere that end up being traded, a wide receiver nobody ever talks about, a player that nobody ever talks about.
Kenny Galladay?
I'm talking about actually that's going to help the team, not
like a Marquise Goodwin. Marquise Callaway, I would have liked, but he's probably not going to believe the Saints because they have a bunch of injuries. But that was a guy that was buried on their depth chart with Chris Olave and Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas. But because those guys are banged up, they're going to need him now. So they're probably not going to. They're probably the asking price is going to go a little higher. Remember, you got to look at it like this. You have to have a trade partner. Kansas City has capital. They know they need a dynamic player. This is going to be their Tyreek Hill. This guy, he's going to fit in right into what they're going to do in their game plan and their gadget schemes. Right now, we have to figure out what we're going to do because if we decide, hey, we're just going to roll with this, keep the rebuild going and not worry about, where we end up and this is all house money, then maybe they don't make a trade. But with this new capital, now I would say go get your guy because anybody in the draft is a 50-50 shot. You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I mean, we could have George Pickens. He's clearly better than Wandale Robinson right now, but we didn't, right? We like Wandale. Here we go. He's a little gadget player. Go get Jerry Jeudy. He's got experience. He can play. Now there might be a guy we're not talking about, like you said, Jeff. I don't know the rosters across the league like that. I don't know who would be out there, right? But you never know. You never know. I mean, look at the Lions. They may have a guy you may want, because they're gonna have a fire sale soon.
You know what I really want?
Brandon Cooks is
I'd
out
really
there.
love to have if this team screws up and falters at the end of the season. Justin Jefferson. I would love Justin
He's
Jefferson.
not going to get traded.
How do
There's
you
no
know?
way.
How
There's
do
no
you
way.
You
know?
never know. You never know.
You
They could blow that
never
team
know.
up.
God. He's
You
the best
never
receiver
know.
in football right now.
Look. I think that's a pipe dream. I think that's a Madden
Thank
reality.
you. I agree with
I think
you
that's a
on that.
Madden reality. But like,
I'm still mad we took Rager over him.
I don't
I
think you're
think
going to
the
get rid of
sleeper
him.
is T. Higgins. I really
Thielen
do.
might be a different story. That might be a
Because
different story.
they
I can see
they're
Thielen
not
being
going to be
a
able to
left
pay.
tackle.
They're not going to be able to pay all those receivers.
No, they can't. And they got more players, too, that have to get paid. Burrow's got to get a
Adam.
contract eventually. They have to pay some of their defensive players. Mixon. Go ahead, Coach.
No, I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to finish. Finish what you're
No,
saying.
I'm done. I'm done. Go ahead.
No, so Adam.
Yes, sir.
Here's Detroit's receivers: Brandon Cook, Philip Dorsett, Nico Collins, Chris Moore, Tyron
Oh,
Johnson.
Texans?
No,
That's
this is
Texans, ain't it?
That's the Texans wide receiver core.
That's not
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, I hit
Lions.
the
The
wrong.
Lions
Yeah,
are
but we got the
Jameis
Chiefs
Williams.
first.
I'm around
Well, I
St.
mean,
Brown.
Philip Dorsett or Brandon Cooks. Cooks. I might be a little expensive. Philip
Thank you.
I don't
Dorsett, you
want
might be able
Cooks,
to get.
yeah.
I'm just looking at value. I'm looking at youth, and I'm
No,
looking at the contract.
I got him. It's Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra
Oh.
St. Brown, and Tom Kennedy.
I can see St. Brown get traded.
And you
No,
get St.
I
Brown.
don't think they're going to do it. But
Well,
they
no, I
could.
don't think
they
they do
could.
that.
think
But
so.
you might get Reynolds if you wanted to. You can get him for a low end.
You
I
can
mean,
see Reynolds.
he's not great, but he has produced for the Rams, and he has some experience.
Wait, what team is
I don't-
DJ Chark on?
I don't
DJ
necessarily
Chark is on
want.
the Lions. He's hurt right now, though. Again.
Yeah, right.
They're waiting for
Damn
Jameson
it.
Williamson to come back as well. So that's the only reason I threw it out there, is because maybe they'll say, hey, we can, lose a Josh Reynolds because we know this kid's coming back in a few
Yeah.
weeks. They're not going to get rid of St. Brown because listen, we want these players, but at the same time, you got to look at it like this. They may want their players too, right? They may want St. Brown for the next coach and develop these guys, right? If he was on the last year of his contract, or he was like Kadarius Toney, who, for whatever reason they didn't like him, and they got rid of him. I'm glad they made this move. I like Kadarius Toney, and wish him well. He would have been a very good weapon for this team going forward. But obviously, Daboll and Shane, for whatever reason, didn't like him. Whether that was the rumors they heard from last year or however he presented himself. Boom, and maybe he asked for a trade. We don't know. Pat Leonard screwed everything up.
I think it was clear they didn't like him when they drafted Wandale Robinson. We
Yeah.
all knew
Everybody
they
said
pretty much
that
drafted
was,
over him.
and everybody said when we drafted Wandale, up that's Sterling Shepard's replacement. That's Sterling Shepard's replacement.
No,
Jefferson never
I thought it was Kadarius Toney too, because I thought it was kind of dumb to get the same kind of player twice.
Exactly.
And that
Redundant.
organization loves Shep. They would never, ever, ever trade him. The only way he's not going to be here because of the fact he's hurt, but that dude is still very, very well respected in that locker room. And Shane and Daboll and them love Sterling Shepard. So, I mean, Kadarius Toney just rubbed him the wrong way for some reason that entire offseason.
Like I said, they wanted to trade him probably early on, and then Pat Leonard somehow got a whiff of it and blew up their spot, and then they got caught with their pants down.
Alex says earlier that guy Pettit, that was the one that leaked the info, and he was pretty much like a rat or something that might have leaked the info because maybe he didn't want to get rid of Kadarius
They
Toney.
fired him though, didn't they?
Right.
They did.
Well, I think he was still on the team early on in that time, because we're talking about the off season in April, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They made some of those changes. So somebody leaked something, because the way that Joe Shane looked on that press conference, you're like, yo, somebody spilled the beans, and this wasn't supposed to happen, because they would have got rid of Kadarius Toney in the offseason, could have said, hey, he didn't fit our bill, whatever, blah, blah, blah. No harm, no foul. You would have got an extra draft capital in this draft. Nope. That whoever leaked it. They were like, oh crap, we got to do damage control. He comes in the next day to get the playbook, and then they have to sing Kumbaya and Rainbows because they said, "Hey, you're not here," and guess what? Now he's here. You can't just be like, "Oh, now we trade him," because that makes it look bad, right? So.
Well, I don't want to be right, Mission Man. None of us want to be right about Kadarius Toney. We're hoping this kid was going to be able to come in and be able to be that explosive wide receiver. Some fans were actually thinking this is going to be the next coming of OBJ. Well, I mean,
Well,
the
he
guy
was because he got traded.
yeah, that's true. He got traded before he even
And he'll
really
be good
joined,
for the Chiefs.
He will.
Oh, he's going to be.
He's going to be a great, great player. For that's,
Well,
you know what?
can we not be
That's
upset when he is good? Can we not be
No,
upset
I'm
when he is
not.
I'm
good?
not mad at all.
I'm not. Let him.
Nah,
Let
if he
him
That's
would've went to
exactly
the-
how
if
I
he
am
would've
with
went to the-
Rager.
If
That's
he would have went
exactly
to
how
the
I am with
Eagles
Rager.
or the Cowboys or somebody in the
That's a
NFC that
different
we got to
story.
play, that would have been a different story. But I ain't mad.
Well,
Well, that's
Blue,
because I know people are going to be like,
crew,
they're going to be like, they're going to be like,
mate?
oh well, this guy is going to do well, and we should have kept him in revisionist history. I'm like, yo, obviously they didn't like him. Let him. If he does well, great, good, do great in Kansas City. You
Right.
deserve it. They're winning. So are we, but they're Super Bowl bound or close to it, and go enjoy it. I'm sure Andy Reid can get the best out of you.
You gave Lou the link.
The link should be in the Big Blue Crew, Lou. Go check in the Big Blue Crew, and the link should be right there. Thank you for coming by, Mace. Mason's one of these guys I chat with on the Bleacher Report stuff. He's an awesome New York Giants fan. Posts some actually pretty accurate stuff on Twitter. So if you guys haven't, go check out his stuff over there. NYG
See,
Mason.
the thing, another narrative too for not trading him early is if you wanted Daniel Jones to have all his weapons, right? So you kind of didn't want to, you say, hey, we're going to give Daniel Jones a chance, and then get rid of everybody that came in because then you're not, not playing him.
Mm-hmm.
But then what didn't make any sense to me is like you didn't play him anyways. So at the same time, you're like you didn't play him anyways, and he was injured, and now you're doing this with guys who should be custodians, and they're not, right? So it's kind of a catch-22 for the Giants. Now you need to go make a move if you deem this team may have a run in them. Go make the chance. Go do what you got to do. Go see if it's going to work out for you. Get a Judy. Get a young player that can. The only reason I want Judy is because we can keep him here. I don't want a guy for rental.
Right.
Like you sign an OBJ or something like that. I don't want a guy that's not going to be here next year. Give me a guy that's going to, if you're going to keep Daniel as your quarterback, or you get quarterbacks in here, whomever the case may be, right? Keep him in here so that guys can grow with him, so they can develop a rapport with him. The reason why Plaxico Burress, as much as people hated him, was here for a while. So Eli and him developed a rapport.
Here he is, everybody. The leader of the Big Blue Crew, Mr. 11-6 himself. Mr.
Let me tell you what just happened.
Go ahead, bro.
Oh, I gotta hear
The
this.
New York Giants front office just severed ties by Judy chopping Kadarius Toney's ass off the team.
How's Judy
Bruh.
They gave him the karate chop, the Judy chop, and the ninja chop, and they got rid of his ass.
Bruh. Unbelievable.
Oh man!
You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. That's why. You gotta watch this guy who just like he thinks.
Oh, if you've never seen a properly slaying Judy chop, okay, the angle of the dangle is 90 degrees, and you gotta call out what you're saying so that people know what you're doing when you're ninjaing, okay?
It's funny. It's funny you said Judy chop because he could have got chopped for Judy. So what you think about that? Another receiver.
That was well done there, NYG, because I was thinking the same thing. They're like Judy chop for Judy. I get it.
I'm glad that they didn't, because with the 2 picks now, if we go and trade right now before the deadline for, say, a DJ Moore or whoever these guys are all screaming for, right? You can then use maybe them 2 picks you just got for him and not really hurt yourself in the draft.
Exactly.
Adam just said same
Wait,
thing.
there's an echo in this. In this.
Are we on the same page for once, Adam?
Yeah.
Holy shit! Me and Adam agree on something? Oh my god!
we gotta call the devil because hell just froze over.
Is this real life? Is this real life?
This is a first. This is a first right here. These two have been.
No, it's not a first. Me and Adam have agreed on things before. I don't think we've ever agreed on a live stream.
Yes, I think we agreed when we've had a conversation outside of live streaming. He and I have agreed. I guess it was too much for him. He had to go, but it was I think the fact that he and I agreed it was so surprising that it dropped him out. There he is. He's back.
I think he's muted right now. He's muted.
Lou and I talk all the time. I mean, I call him up and he calls me
Miz
up. And,
tried to call me.
Yeah.
oh, Miz, who else? What else is new? Miz always calling you. He either calls you or calls me.
Oh man, you know
now,
he's gonna drop a video.
No, but Miz is going for scorched earth right now. So if I were you, I duck and cover because
Miz is pissed off. He's
coming for everybody who denied him. So thankfully that wasn't me. So anybody else that denied Miz or called him a name or something like that, yeah, you may get Christmas coal under your.
Oh shit! Don't call him a name. No. Don't call him a name. He coming for you on Twitter. He checking green cards. He doing everything. Don't mess with Miz.
He's looking at Twitter right now for those receipts.
He getting motherfuckers deported. He calling Homeland Security.
Terminator? Like what's going on? Is it T-1000 over there?
Yeah, bitch. What the hell is that? What are you?
I'll be Buck. You want to go get John Connor right now? Get out of here.
I'm relaxing being 6-0.
Guys, I'm at work. I got to get back to it before I get in trouble.
Thank you so much for popping on. Appreciate it so much.
No doubt. Hey, listen. 11-6. The New York Giants are gonna Judy chop the NFC East. We're gonna ninja chop the NFC, and we're gonna karate chop the playoffs. Let's go.
Take it easy, Lou. Thank you so much for hopping on.
There's one problem with that, the Eagles, but go on.
There's no problem with the Eagles.
We'll see. We'll see.
Look.
See.
Look. Eagles taste real tasty, man. They really taste nice and tasty.
Wait,
I think Coach Ed said it's going to be hunting season pretty soon, and we're taking the Eagles off the endangered species list.
Whether you like the dark meat or the white meat, it don't matter. It all eats well. So,
yeah. So, I like them. I like the fact that they being built up and pumped up and hyped up in the meeting. I like that. And the Giants are going under the radar because this is what we do.
Are they really flown under the radar? Like,
yeah, we are.
Yeah,
talking about the worst 6-1 team in history.
Yeah, they've been talking about us being the worst 6-1 team. Like NYG said, we're getting.
But you beat the Packers. You beat the Ravens.
Obviously, it don't matter.
People are still saying now that the Packers are not good. They can't beat anybody. Aaron Rodgers not the same. You know that kind of stuff. They're pretty much underselling our win now against the Packers. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. We won. We beat them.
This is how
that's all that matters. Exactly. We love to be the underdogs. It makes us feel better.
Just think about this. If one of us, the Eagles, Cowboys, and the Giants lose the Commanders, it's basically over.
The Commanders aren't that bad. They're starting to get it together a little bit.
They won 2 in a row.
You might lose to the Commanders. So.
Huh?
No.
Wow.
The Eagles might lose to the Commanders.
Yeah. I mean,
never know.
Wait, when do we play them again?
So I guess the Giant fans in here are saying the most overrated 6-0 team must be the Philadelphia Eagles, because if we think that they're going to lose to the Commanders,
honestly, I didn't even think they were going to be this far. I didn't even think they were going to be like this. I had us losing to the Cardinals in the beginning.
No, I respect Mitch. Mitch is one of those realistic Eagles fans. He's not like one of those people that's going to start going over the moon thinking this team is like the shit and they're going to like just go undefeated or something. Mitch is a realistic fan.
You ready for this? People call me Mr. Negative about Doc Rivers. And I'm like, okay. All right. I know it's a different sport, but it's just like...
talk about basketball because I'm going to go on a fucking Ben Simmons rant if that's going to happen. I'm going to go on
Please do it.
Don't do it. Don't do
it. Because I'm going to get pissed off about how he played.
Please.
Fucking basketball.
Please, you got full
I know. No, I know. I'm trying not to, but this team...
Yeah, don't get me started with those 2 players that we got on the team and everybody else a bunch of scrubs.
Hey, we got the coach.
God.
I mean, we don't have the coach.
Yeah, NYG, I know you're probably pissed about that stuff too, and Adam.
Man, hey, look, man, I told people, man, like Steve Nash got to go. Told people
That's what I've been saying. That's what I've been saying. I said it last year,
man. He's a bum.
I said it last year. You know why? Because he's soft. That's why.
Exactly.
He's soft. He was a soft. He
Every
was a soft
summer he's
player.
scoring points for us. He's scoring points, giving us a spark. Let's not fucking
Let's
play
put
the
him on
rest
the
of the
bench.
game. Let's
Same
put him
thing
on the
with
bench.
Watanabe.
Same thing with
Same
the
thing with
Sixers. Like,
Watanabe.
Where the
We're
hell
bad
is
on
doing
Cam
good.
Thomas?
we're bad on defense, and we don't put Thibault in. Like,
Thank you, Mac.
what?
Right, Mac. Everybody was
Montrezl
good
Harrell
until
and
we
Jordan
beat them.
Indiana, the first two
Now they
off the
suck.
bench.
Exactly. So that's what.
Right, Todd.
Whatever.
Somebody's coming. I think it's
Wait.
Judy.
Yeah.
They might have something up their sleeve. Somebody like you said, we not talking about, and boom. Who
I agree.
knows, man? You know
I
what I'm
think we're gonna
saying?
get
Who
something
knows
this
what's
year.
going
In
on?
Joe Shane, I'm gonna get a shirt. In Joe Shane, we trust.
Yeah.
Because he's, as much as we give Gettleman guff. He did bring some players to us. All right, we like McKinney. That was a Gettleman pick. We like Thomas. That was a Gettleman pick. We need to sign Julian Love again, another guy with Gettleman. But this coaching staff here seems to have more competence in what they're doing. It seems like, hey, this is the modern day GM. You know what I'm saying? We're not sitting here making archaic moves. Our GM's not sitting there with his pants hiked up to his waist.
Look who's here. The Miz is here. Send the link to him. Gotta get him on.
Oh,
Gotta get him
boy.
on. I have to get the Miz on here.
He's
so
gonna
we can go
All right.
he's gonna melt down the chat.
All right, can we put it in his Twitter, please? Can we
No,
DM
you
it
might have to
to
put
him?
him in you might have to put it in the chat because Miz, every time you put in the just get the chat. I gotta get the Miz because the Miz is gonna go fucking off. I know this is gonna be good.
Who just
Adam just went off, literally.
He's like went off. That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
Miz
God.
was he was right though, man. You know, it was
was.
something else about Tony that we was missing. Everybody just thought it was the injuries, but
He's
it,
not
obviously
built for
it was.
New
All
York.
right, guys, that's just for the
That's
Miz.
just for the Miz. That's just for the Miz. Okay.
If anyone else comes on, I got you. No, just the Miz. All right.
Yeah. And I'm gonna shut the hell up and I'm gonna let the Miz talk his talk because everything that he said he was 1,000% right.
He might as well go to Vegas and start playing because it seems like he's a prophet.
Hey, I'm down for that.
But Tony can't play because his ear hurts.
Nobody said you were going with him.
I want to go with
Here we
the
go.
money. Money.
All right, Miz, the floor is yours, bro. Take it. Take it.
What's up, Miz?
Yo, where's all
What's
the
good,
people
man?
that fucking call me names on Twitter? Where's all the people out there?
I can't hear him.
Miz is a racist because I said Tony was a fraud. Where's all those people? I want them to be a man. A couple of them already called me today, so I give them credit. I told you guys, Tony wasn't about football. Tony had no work ethic. He's a baby. And in the last few weeks, Tony wasn't even celebrating with the players, if you haven't noticed. The man ain't a team guy, and if he goes to Kansas City and balls out, that's fine. Don't be getting mad. Joe Shane pulled off a great trade today. That guy's been a black cloud. Because all we talk about is when is Tony playing? When is Tony gonna come? How much better can we be when Tony gets here? That motherfucker was never getting here. And I said it the day we drafted him. It was a big mistake, a bag of garbage. And we gave up Parsons for this guy. And you know what? Giants are 6-1 without this guy. 2 receptions for 0 yards this year. The guy's a disgrace. And people dog me. Call me that I don't like his do-rags, or I don't like his gold teeth, or I don't like his color. Bullshit. Bullshit. I don't care who you are or what color you are. I played football my whole life with every color in the book. This guy, he didn't care. And today proved it. And I'm not here to say the Miz was right, but yo, you know what? People call me names and label me shit because of Tony. When I just spoke what I saw, and I see things early. I've been around football for 35 years. I played quarterback, I played linebacker, I coached, and I ref. And I seen it all. And I knew the day this guy walked into camp and tell me he can't practice because his cleats don't fit him, I knew he was a fraud, a fucking clown. That's it. That's it.
Miz.
And yo, people owe me an apology, bro. I'm a Giant fan. I feel it. And we're all making team content. And we all got love for each other. And there's no reason for people people to call each other's names because they feel one way or another. If you like Jones or if you don't like Jones, respect people's opinions. I told people long ago I thought Toney was bullshit, and I thought he was lying all along. And I don't think he had a hamstring problem the last 3 weeks either. I think they had a trade on the table, and they didn't want him to get injured, and he was in the goddamn doghouse.
Yeah, I think you're right, Miz.
I think you're absolutely right, Miz. I think you're absolutely
I think
right.
that's exactly what it is. They didn't want to play him because they wanted to trade him.
And you know what? Be happy because we got a 3 and a 6 back, and Joe Shane once again did a great thing, and we got $5.5 million back on this year's cap, which puts us at about 11. And don't think the Giants are not eyeing a receiver. And there's some rumors right now breaking, and I don't know how true they are. So don't put it out there like it's true. But there's some articles that Claypool might be on his way to the Giants.
Interesting.
That'd be an interesting.
The thing that, well, I mean, I like Claypool. He's not the greatest. I would take Judy over him, but the interesting part is what you said was the cap space. I didn't know they got cap space.
I didn't either.
Which tells me that they
$5.5 million. I did my homework. I was talking to Pat. $5.5 million. I give credit to Pat because he's the one who looked it up. Back on our cap this year. Off our cap.
No.
Wow.
That's amazing. Wow.
So that allows you to go sign. Doesn't even mean you have to get you can get Beckham now if you wanted to, right? That allows you to be free and wheel and deal. So if they decide they want to get a free agent that's out there, this might help them lure a free agent in if they decided to do that. Or if they wanted to take on DJ Moore's contract, this might give you the cap flexibility to do that right now. If they decide to do that. Chase Claypool, he's under the rookie deal again, so you don't really need him in terms of cap space.
Just realize right here, outside the Eagle fan, because the Eagles are having a great season, obviously. Just realize
Thank you.
we are set up for a future big time because we have ourselves a real deal regime, a real GM and a real head coach in every single aspect.
Yes, and so Claypool was drafted in 2020, so he's under the 4-year deal. So you'd probably get him, and he was later on in the draft, so you're going to get him at a cheap cost. He might be even cheaper than Judy, because Judy was a first-round pick. So if you're looking at finances and financials, that's one way to look at it. Because fitting under the cap space could mean they're signing somebody else. Like I said, maybe Odell Beckham Jr. Who knows? He has been in the facility. You don't know who he's talking to. Maybe he has a number, and now that they're winning. I don't really necessarily want to bring them back, but if you're trying to make a run or trying to, do something with these big teams, because you're going to need in the playoffs, your weaknesses get exposed, whether we like it or not. Mm-hmm. They will be figured out. And right now, our weaknesses are our receiving core and our run game. Okay, our run defense. Excuse me. We cannot stop the run right now, and that's a major.
That's why I was saying, Adam, too. What if they use some of that draft capital to go get the guy from Chicago Bears, Raekwon Smith?
Mm-hmm. I would do that.
That run defense.
Too. If you told me that I could parlay,
the Giants got Ebon today, by the way.
And Raekwon Smith.
What happened, Miz?
Giants picked up a tight end today from the Colts, Eric Ebon.
Oh, they got Eric Ebron.
Eric Ebron. I knew he was coming in here. He had a workout. He had a workout with the Giants early on this off season, and I thought that he would be brought in. He wasn't signed by a team, but it was a matter of Bellinger outplayed his status, so they didn't bring him in. So the fact they're bringing him in now means Bellinger's probably going to be out a lot longer. And it also probably is a better option for Daniel, because now you give him a weapon in Ebron who can flip the field quickly for you in terms of giving him a little pop pass, and he can turn around and break a tackle and go downfield. Not that Bellinger couldn't do that, but Ebron's a little bit more athletic. He's been around. He was in Pittsburgh last year. He was with the Colts a few years ago. So that's a good move for them. They were always sniffing around him. I thought he would be brought in earlier. When they got rid of Ricky Seals-Jones and Jordan Aiken and all that. By the way, Jordan Aiken's having a season over in Houston. Not for nothing. I'm not saying you bring him back, but Eric Ebron, let's hope that he gets. It's good. He probably won't play this week. Probably more for the stretch. You have that's what I'm saying. You're bringing these guys now. Next week you're on a bye week, so that means you come in for practice. If you're smart, you get them in there. You have cram sessions with them and things like that. It really should be. This is going to be fun to watch, man. This is what I didn't know this was going to happen. I'm glad that this happened. I'm glad that they're bringing in this tight end because they need him. They really do. And if they decide not to bring anybody else, at least Ebron will be a red zone upgrade, for Daniel, and that's where you really need to see Daniel score besides run plays.
Too. Oh, what about a guy like Andre Miller too, who the Giants possibly could bring back? I think he's
already on the practice squad.
Yeah, they brought him back. Yeah, they
Yeah.
re-signed
Got a
him.
GM making moves here. You got a GM that makes moves here, man. It's very exciting to have a team that's finally has a future, man, and we really have a big future, and we're having a good season right now. Like,
people told me to keep this regime going for one more year. This is what I'm talking about when you change, all right? You get guys who are smart in the building and have done it correctly. You know what I mean? And that's why I know people hate me and my Daniel takes. That's why it's not under the realm of possibilities with this GM to say, hey, we're going to make a move for a guy that they want. I can't say they can't because they did stuff like that in Buffalo, and they're doing different things like this right now. And we're in the modern era of football now, people. We're not thinking the Giants way from the 1980s, even the mid 2000s, where we're like, oh, Giants way, blah, blah, blah. No, this is a brand new, fresh set of eyes, more modernized approach to the game, right? And we know, and this is what I love. Even though we're winning, we're not giving up draft capital yet to get players in here. So now you took someone else's draft capital, which is compensatory picks. By the way, the Giants are probably going to get a couple of those this year.
What up, B-Town?
I don't know when they.
Oh God! Stop! Don't rub it in, Bobby, about the Sixers. I don't want to hear it.
Oh my God!
If we go on draft capital, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Speak. I'm sorry.
How you doing, Raph? Thank you for coming on the stream.
Hey, I'm very good right here. So I was like a little flu right here after Monday, and of course I just cover a video blog like that. But I was hoping about it. So let me ask you a question about for the draft rumors right here. How do you like about the wide receiver from Steelers, Chase Claypool, which is polarizing because I had to look part of the size and the speed right here. Do you think it's the best choice for the New York Giants for Chase Claypool from the Steelers?
Well, we talked about it earlier, and I think that NYG coach, they brought up a fantastic point. Why don't you sniff out and try to look for a guy like T. Higgins, who's going to be going into his fourth year next year. He's on a rookie deal right now. Maybe you try to see if you can offer them a first-round pick to bring in a guy that's 6'4", can go down the field, good route runner, still young. And then eventually, if you want to try, maybe you could try to see if you can entice the Bengals to maybe get rid of him for a first-round pick. And then you
Chase Claypool's in that group that I was speaking about because he's still under the contract that's cheap.
Yeah, he is. I think Higgins and Judy are better. That's where I'm coming from. So because coach had me rank them earlier, I would say Higgins 1, Judy 2, and then Claypool. DJ Moore, and then Claypool. Yeah. That's how I would rank them.
Yeah, but
Adam?
They have my something about it.
Interesting for me. My number one target is Judy, and then I would go,
Judy.
And Higgins to me is intriguing as well because I didn't think about him.
Thank you, Mac.
But I don't know if they would want to get rid of him per se because they got that three-headed monster going on in Cincinnati.
They have to pay everybody. You have to think about also future. You have to pay Burrows. You have to pay Chase. You're gonna have to pay him. I mean, there's a group.
Mixon gonna get a contract.
Yeah, so that's why you reach and you see. If they say no, then you can't get it. That's a different story. But right now, if you look at that money wise, because that's the other thing that we as fans sometimes don't take in the equation. We got to look at.
I'll be right back, fellas. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
No, Adam, I know you do. I'm just saying most general fans, they just throw it out there. And that's why I always say, you got to look at the salary cap. What kind of money do we have? What kind of money and talent does this team have now and in the future?
That's why I keep saying, like, don't underestimate the possibility of a trade for a quarterback. Why in the draft? Because you can't pay Daniel Jones all this money and then expect to bring in players and sign Andrew Thomas and all this down the road. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying to get rid of him. All I'm saying is, and I don't want to make this a Daniel Jones topic. I'm just saying my mindset is similar to what you're saying. Is like, if you're going to pay him $100 million, look what the Cowboys did. They couldn't even keep Amari Cooper, so they traded him to get rid of him, right? Because they had to pay Dak Prescott. Same thing with Tyreek Hill. They couldn't pay him either, so they moved him on to Miami, who, by the way, is on a rookie deal with their quarterback. So this is what I talk about when I say things. So I agree with you guys. I'm talking about. I was only answering his question as in who I want. Yeah, I agree with you. T. Higgins, he's in that class I think as well, where he's cheap and he's productive. He's produced. That's the good thing about him. He's produced more than Jerry Jeudy. That's for sure.
And you're right, Adam. It's the flip side to it though, right? If you're gonna pay the quarterback and the running back, then you need receivers on rookie deals.
Right.
If you're gonna pay the receiver, then you need a quarterback on a rookie deal. So I
Exactly.
see exactly what you're saying. So that could work. You know, if you gotta pay Jones and maybe Barkley, then you need receivers that are on rookie deals that you don't have to pay right away.
Like even your guy T. Higgins, he was drafted in 2020, right?
If you hop on to hit, you can join us if you
it's
want.
one of those things where these are the type of receivers we need to look at. The reason you know what I'm going to do, I'm going to agree with you, NYG and Coach. I'll take Higgins over Jeudy only because of the production level that I've gotten out of T. Higgins. He's also been a winner, meaning they won with over there in Cincinnati. So he has a bit of, and he produced when those guys went down, right? So Jerry Jeudy is not the same. I mean, his quarterbacks have been kind of caca, but he's had one good season in 2020, and then the others he's dropped off due to injury and not playing. Right now they're both at the same level in terms of stats right now. But I'm looking at Jerry Jeudy. I mean, T. Higgins, he's done it twice, 900 yards and 1,000 yards last year. Over 6 touchdowns. You're right. This is probably the best fit for the Giants in terms of speed. Chase Claypool would be a good possession receiver. If you were keeping Kenny Golladay and you wanted the same skill set as a Golladay, then Chase Claypool is your man. He's a little faster, a little bit more explosive because he's younger. So you take him and you can do those back shoulder fades, the red zone. T. Higgins is great because he can do those things, but he's got the breakaway speed to also to threaten over the top of the defense. Because let's be honest, Darius
Jeudy had a little bit of a legal problem too off the field.
Yes, I don't want that either. I don't want that anywhere near. Obviously, you're going to have to vet him. You're going to have to vet that out and say, hey, listen, is this cleared up? Because we already have one guy who left because of not really legal stuff, but in college he was a bit of a, had an airsoft gun and all that shit. So less drama for your mama. That's the guy I want, whoever that may be.
Yeah, Higgins, I think has been pretty clean on and off the field. So that gives him another edge over Jeudy. But I wouldn't be mad at Jeudy at all. I wouldn't.
No. Just to update you guys, per Bobby Skinner, draft picks for 2023. We have a first, a second, our third, the Chiefs' thirds, our fourth, fifth, the Chiefs' sixth, our seventh, the Ravens' seventh, and there's a good chance we get a fifth and a seventh comp pick for Evan Ingram and Keon Crossan.
Yeah.
What about Lorenzo Carter? He signed a pretty big deal for what his rate was.
It doesn't say, he didn't say that, we would possibly get one. So, I mean, it's possible, later, but, that means
didn't Austin Johnson sign a deal too? Pretty decent deal.
But don't forget, it also goes into some guys that we pick up too, that kind of offsets.
I thought it was the money. I thought it had nothing to do with you could sign 10 free agents, but if it doesn't match the money that your free agents left for, you get a comp pick.
I thought
apparently Brian Daboll did not even talk about it that much in his press conference. He went over it a little bit, but pretty much just saying that the trade was completed. So, I mean, even Brian Daboll did not really go into a lot of detail about the whole Kadarius Toney trade. He just pretty much said it in brief terms. Oh, we just completed the trade, and then that's just pretty much it. So they look like they just want to get him out of the way, get him out of here, and then just continue with business.
That's what happens when you have bad apples, right? You need to get rid of the rottens and keep the rest of the bench, because obviously he's not helping his quarterback out for not being in there availability wise. I think he might have been running the wrong routes, because I know that he was wide open. They dissected that play where Daniel missed the guy wide open, and I'm not sure who was wrong on that play. I mean, Daniel missed the guy, that's clearly clear, but when you look at the sidelines in that game, Kadarius Toney's getting his ass chewed out by the coach. So I'm assuming that he probably ran to an area and just stood there, and it wasn't the correct route. And maybe that's what got Daniel in trouble, because Daniel was looking for him at one spot and he ran to another. So who knows? I mean, I'll tell you this: Andy Reid's going to know what to do with this kid. He's going to know what to do with Kadarius. He's going to be like, "Yo, your hamstring's good. Okay, we'll see you on Sunday. You're going to watch him go off and it'd be like have a punt return or something crazy." Well, you know what?
Yeah, and that's
It
cool.
doesn't make sense to me is like last year we drafted this guy. We didn't use him in certain areas. They're like, oh, he doesn't know the playbook. I'm like, coach, I ask you this. If a guy, I know that I play football. If I didn't know the playbook, they put me on special teams and made me a return man and said, here you go. This is how you're going to impact it. They didn't even do that for him.
I mean, if you don't know the playbook, I mean, the first thing is that's a bad look, especially at the pro level. I mean, high school and all of that, your low level college, even a lot of the semi pro teams I've coached on, yeah, you're right. You just put them there until they get acclimated. For a number one draft pick in the NFL, if you don't know the playbook, that's not a good look. That's
Right.
Yeah.
really not a good
But you
look.
couldn't, but I'm just saying you couldn't put him on special teams for him to be out there.
To be honest with you, that's what I always heard. He's a good return guy. So
Right.
yes, you're right. They didn't put him there, so that's not a good look. Also,
Even
because
worse. That's even worse.
why are you not putting him at least out there so you can get some type of production out of him?
Absolutely.
I mean, look
And
at
I think you gotta look to what the Miz been saying though. I mean,
Mhm.
honestly, it maybe it's just the guys just not really into football like that. You know what I'm
Possibly.
saying?
It might
you
be.
know,
You're
you
right.
know, the thing is that is a lot of these guys have different interests. So I'm not always going to pin that against them. I'm going to pin what I see on the field. Now, if he came in, he did have an odd beginning, an ominous beginning to be exact. Like, oh, the
How you
shoes
doing,
don't fit,
Jaden?
so this doesn't fit, blah blah blah. But not knowing the playbook tells me that he probably doesn't have the work ethic that you want. Right? He's not staying after practice. He's not taking the teaching that you're putting out there, even though he has natural ability. And he probably also is, like you said, a young guy who has other interests outside of this, and those are conflicting with what he's doing, right? Because Kayvon Thibodeau has other interests, but the guy on the field's a dog. I know what I'm getting at Kayvon Thibodeau. Now, I will tell you this: if anything, his weight room, he may need to hit the weight room a little bit because that could have been what they were talking about when he was lazy. It's like weight room stuff. Because when you look at him, you look at his body, and you're like, not that I'm looking at his body in that way, but you kind of look at his figure, and you're like, this guy needs to lift a weight. You look at Micah Parsons, again, not looking at their bodies for that reason, but you look at what Micah Parsons built like, and Azeez Ojulari, you're like, man, this guy needs to hit the weight room. But hey, that'll be for next year. But that's where I think if any rumor was true, because they were trying to dog him out, which I looked at the film, I watched film, like, what are you guys talking about? This guy's fucking playing on a bum ankle, running across the field making tackles like he did last week against the Jaguars, chasing down Travis Etienne, who runs a 4.3. My God.
Yeah. Well, I got a question for everybody. Coach, finish your point, then I got a question for the entire group.
No, I was just going to back up Adam's point. Jordan Renan tweeted, Kadarius Toney, a strange case, has spoken with former and current coaches about him over the past few months. Talent undeniable. Previous coaching staff thought he was fine when in the building. Problem was, could they trust him to put in the work when not under their supervision?
There you go.
There it is. So
And
he's going out trying to make.
What's good, Pat? What's good, man?
Make young Joker albums.
For a little bit, you can too. I had the link should be in the Big Blue Crew chat if you want to hop on.
You wanted to make young Joker albums instead of playing there. I mean, and listen, they've had guys do that. Guys play video games. They don't take it seriously. I hear it. He's got other interests, rap career and all this stuff. This year, what I think happened, like I said, is Pat Leonard fucked the whole thing up because whomever it was
Well, you
leaked
can
that.
say that about Ben Simmons. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Well, Ben Simmons wasn't. Shut up about Ben Simmons. He's a malcontent in his own way.
I don't want to talk about that name. Please don't say that.
But what happened with Kadarius Toney is like they came in knowing, probably hearing what Jordan Renan just said, right? Hearing all this, and then equating it to talking to him and seeing where he was at, wanting to trade him. Probably came up in discussions in the offseason as the draft is approaching. Remember, they had that little mini camp and shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have to say this real quickly. I want to introduce the orchestrator, the creator, the man, the legend, when it comes to all things New York Football Giants, Mr. Big Pat Sports Talk. Welcome to the stream. Pat, how you doing, bro?
Yay! No.
What's good, Pat?
Hold a minute. I just got something to say.
Brother.
I just got something to say. I'm sorry, Pat, because Hit Squad put it in our chat, and this is from Tony's actual post at 2:25 today. That joke would have been funny if I was actually hurt. Irrelevant people don't get updates. What does that mean, hit? I mean, does anybody know what that means?
That means he probably wasn't hurt, like we said,
Hmm.
Okay.
and they were hiding him because they knew they were going to make a move for him. All right, Pat, you can go. I just
Go
Sorry,
can't.
ahead,
Patrick.
bro.
Go ahead, bro.
Talk your
No,
talk,
that
bro.
that that just confirms what I actually thought. He
Hmm.
did have a hamstring injury, so they were allowed to put him on the injury report as a hamstring because you can't lie on
Hmm.
Well,
on the injury
Hmm.
report. So
You
he
can't.
did have a hamstring. It's checked out with the doctors and everything. They sent it, and they just continued to say he had a hamstring injury throughout the season. Whatever happened behind closed doors with this team and Kadarius Toney, I truly believe that they felt that he wasn't a fit in the culture of this team
Hmm.
moving forward. Um, I'm one of the guys that actually defended Kadarius Toney. I don't know if me and Adam got into it about Kadarius Toney. I don't
no,
remember,
no.
but
You and I never really spoke on Kadarius Toney outside of that. We agreed he was a talent. That was basically it. I think
okay,
I think, and maybe you can disagree with me. I think they wanted to trade him in early April, but the leak came out about the trade, and it blew up in their face. And then when he came in and
hmm
got the playbook, they were like, "Well, we can't trade you now because essentially our reasoning to trade a guy was, hey, he's not showing up and getting the playbook, and then he shows up the next day and gets the playbook. So now you're like, oh, what are you going to do?" And the leak came out. So I agree with you. They wanted to trade him, but I think it was
uh,
early on.
I think they did want to trade him in the offseason, Adam, and the leak did come out. That's why they fired the dude. Not too long after the leak came out, they found out who got the leak that leaked it to Pat Leonard, and they fired him. Um, I'm gonna do a video about the curious case of Kadarius Toney. I know NYG has stated things. I think the Twitter community owes Miz an apology. Miz has been saying these things since the
Oh,
very
Miz just
beginning.
lit it
You
up
might you
earlier.
might as well just let Miz burn down Twitter and just
Yeah.
watch the chaos ensue because there's nothing you can do. I've talked to him already. And I'm like, dude, I'm like, I can, let you off the leash. I can't say anything. You want to go off these guys? Go ahead, because he's been waiting for this moment. Like every time I talk to him, he's like, "I'm telling you, Adam, he's a clown." I'm like, "Yeah, man, but we gotta just ride this out until we figure out what's going on with him, and then boom, here it is."
Yeah, so Kadarius Toney will be playing for the Chiefs within the next 2 weeks. When he's available to return on November 6th. I don't think the guy has been hurt because when he played out there, a guy that has a hamstring is not cutting like that when he was on the field trying to
Yep,
do anything.
exactly.
I just think that maybe the playbook was a little too complex for him, or maybe he was. I don't know. Maybe he was just turned off about the Giants. Maybe he was turned off about the media because he was getting crushed in the media with the New
Mm.
York Giants. I followed him at Florida. He's I'm not gonna say he's emotional, but he doesn't like the talk and banner about him. I wish him the best, but let's just be honest. These fans that are coming out saying we're gonna regret trading Kadarius Toney, what the hell are we regretting? A dude in a year and a half has not got a touchdown for us and has played in only 12 games and available 24 games that he was available to play in. And this season alone, he has 2 catches for 0 yards. And we're 6-1 without him. And he was never playing. And the games that he did play, he didn't even make an impact in those games. So
Mm-hmm.
you can't miss what you never had. You see what I'm saying? Like
You're
we've
right.
never
Right.
seen him on the
Exactly.
field. You never seen him on the field do anything for us, and maybe it's just a change of scenery. Maybe I don't want to bash the kid, but it's just something was done in the dark, man, to where this regime was like, They
Well,
came
I think
in,
it was last year was not a good start
It's
for
been
him.
two regimes. Exactly. It's not only been this one, it was the last regime
I
Yeah,
that
the
was
think
like,
last
last
regime the
year
as
same
well.
way. Mm-hmm.
Last year he didn't come. I mean, first off, they didn't even really want the guy in the draft room. When you look at Dave Gettleman storm off, it was probably like, "Hey, I didn't want this guy," and Judge was panicked and he needed a receiver, or whatever. I thought it was a redundant pick after signing Kenny Galladay. I was like, well, whatever. I get it. They wanted Devontae Smith, didn't get him. You still wanted a receiver, fine. Then you didn't use him. I was telling this coach. Then you didn't use him on special teams. I've seen guys have problems with playbooks, and they give him little plays. Here's 10 plays.
Mm-hmm.
Here's, a special teams. Like all you have to do is catch the ball and run or make a fair catch. How hard of a decision is that? That's like whether you want peanut butter or jelly on your fucking sandwich, or adding mayo. Like it's not that hard of a decision to fair catch or run. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying, as a pro, they could have done more to get him in here. Now, there's got to be a lot more going on to this story that is happening because two regimes kept him off the field for various reasons. One, injuries last year, I get it. But now it's like he was healthy going in, and we didn't even use him. And then last week, I said to the guys this week, Pat, I don't know if you heard, he was sprinting last week. Last week, he was sprinting up and down the field. There was beat reporters saying, well, Kadarius could be close. I see him sprinting. This week, they said, or the week prior, they did not see a thing out of him. They didn't see him on the field. They didn't see him anywhere. So I'm like, yo, this is definitely worse than this is definitely more than a hamstring that's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, Adam, you make a great point right there about at least getting him on special teams. Like, why wouldn't you use him on special teams if this guy was all in and he wasn't getting it correct as far as the playbook and everything? You'd be like, well, we see that you're working. Let's get you some special teams reps. Why wouldn't he be the kick returner, punt returner? That's what he did at Florida.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
and excelled at that. That's one of the selling points that they gave us.
Right. He would be dynamite on a damn kick out punt return. So I truly believe that he was held out because they had a trade in place for a couple of weeks now. There's probably a couple of teams that was looking for his services.
I think you know what it was, Pat, too. Remember when he was close to playing that 1 week and they said, oh, he injured the other hamstring. I think that right there was the kind of the red flag for me. Like, this dude really hurt? Who injures both of their hamstrings like that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, how do you injure the other one? What did you do? What are you doing? Line dancing or something like that? How'd you get injured? Doing nothing.
Me and Pat said that.
Exactly.
Like, I understand, like, with Jason Sehorn, he injured his hamstring because in other parts of his body because he was rehabbing. So I got it. I'm like, all right, makes sense. He didn't work on certain muscle groups. This guy, it's like one hamstring and then the other. I mean, even Beckham had both hamstrings out at the same time, and he got back, and away he went. This guy can't even seem to get out of his own way. I mean, but he did drop a new album on YouTube, so that could be another reason why he's not here.
I got a question for everybody on the panel while I got you guys here, and I'm going to throw it out to the chat too. Now that the Kadarius Toney trade has happened, now that he's no longer a New York Football Giant, where would you rank Kadarius Toney in terms of first-round blunders by the New York Giants? Where would you rank him on all-time New York Giants first-round blunders?
Probably under Cedric Jones. For me, at least, in my era. Cedric Jones is terrible.
First round picks that didn't work out. Yes.
I think Eric Flowers was pretty bad.
Yeah. Eli Apple was bad too.
Yeah.
DeAndre Baker.
But at least those guys, at least they kept him around a long time. Cedric Jones was terrible. He was legally blind, and they drafted him in the first round. The thing with Toney,
though, is I think what puts the Toney situation down a little bit is the fact that you got that pick via trade. That wasn't the Giants' pick. So you got the trade, and the trade netted you Evan Neal, the 7th pick.
Right. So, you're right. You're absolutely right. They went to the playoffs.
I think that downs it a little bit as far as like the Eric Flowers, Eli Apples of the world. But
if you put it like that in NYG, then yes, it was he was not a bad Giant because he gave us two of the best Giants we hope to have, right? He gave us Evan Neal and he gave us Kayvon Thibodeau, right? So
Thibodeau, yeah.
So you're saying where do you rank him?
Yeah.
See, I go back before you guys, so because I'm looking at either Derek Brown or Dave Brown, and Dave Brown was actually a supplemental first-round draft pick. Was he his first round? I think he was the top overall. Let me double check. Dave Brown was drafted by the Giants as the top overall selection in the 1992 draft supplemental draft. So for me, yeah, y'all make some good points, but I'm gonna have to go Dave Brown, Derek Brown, tight end out of Notre Dame, and then Flowers.
Not even Cedric Jones. I mean, my God, he was terrible. No,
No,
Dave Brown.
Cedric Jones is bad. I'm just saying, if I'm ranking, those are my top three.
Now,
I
Dave
mean,
Brown was funny because they didn't give Daniel Jones 17 just because of that guy. Because, Daniel Jones wore 17 at Duke, so did Dave Brown. And Dave Brown wore 17 with the Giants. And like, I don't think you want to wear that number, especially if you're coming out like all the stuff he's doing. That's why they did 1 + 7 is 8, so they gave him 8 instead. So that's
I,
kind of a funny
I,
Dave
I,
Brown story.
I want to leave you guys with something. Now that we have the 2 third-round picks, if Denver loses to the Jaguars, you think we could get Jerry Judy for a third-round pick? And if we do that, are you cool with that?
Absolutely. Because
Absolutely.
we're not
Sign
using
me up.
we're not using our draft picks. We're going to be using probably somebody else's draft picks. Or if we have to use our draft pick, we at least have a third rounder that we have, right? So it's kind of like you can either use yours because they're going to probably want a higher price for them knowing that we're desperate. And they're going to be like, well, we don't think you're going to finish where Kansas City is going to finish. So give us your third round pick, right? And you can keep Kansas City's third round pick. And fine, whatever you want to do, fine, give it to me. I don't care because I rather have a guy that's like I told these guys, that's in a rookie deal that can work with this team that's going to be here a couple years. Because if you look at the roster, I'm telling you right now, Kadarius Toney is already gone. We think Kenny Galladay is going to be gone, and we think Sterling Shepard is going to be gone, and they have to sign Darius Slayton. So that's 4 guys right now on the roster that are potentially not going to be here next year. If you bring in Jerry Jeudy, you at least guarantee yourself Wan'Dale Robinson and Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you guys real quick.
And just to build off that, and you keep your first, and maybe you go get another receiver.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mitch, go ahead.
Real quick, I just saw something on Twitter. Do you guys think it's a possibility for Kadarius Toney to be the next Tyreek Hill?
No.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think
Some guy made a video on that. And I'm
he
like, what
doesn't
the
have
hell?
the speed Tyreek Hill has, and
I think they'll utilize him the same way in terms of the gadget plays, but
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be necessarily another Tyreek Hill. I think he's going to be
Tyreek
another
Hill
weapon.
light. Yeah.
I think
light.
Macaulay Hardman is more of a Tyreek Hill type and has a little bit
Listen,
more of the speed.
he went to the right situation, right?
He did.
I mean, DeAndre Baker was there too, but this guy, Andy Reid, is going to sit down with him, get in his ass, and be like, listen, you could be a star here. And you're playing with Mahomes, who, let's be honest, maybe doesn't like Jones. I don't know. I'm not in the building. You don't like people at your job. That happens. Maybe he's like, screw this guy, doesn't throw me the ball. Pat Mahomes will throw you the ball, will get in your face, and either will make you a star or make you sit on the bench, because that's how the type of player they are. That's what they're doing in Kansas City. They're going to leave you as a road bump in the street if you decide you don't want to play with them. So he's got Kadarius Toney, you're going to have to man up, man, because this is a championship team that you're on.
I'm going to say this about Kadarius Toney over there with the Chiefs. If Brian Daboll didn't like him in this system, I'm having a hard time thinking that he goes over there with the Chiefs and just light it up unless he changes his whole ideal about the game of football. Because Andy Reid will get him out there, get him out quick as well.
Do you think this is a wake-up call for him, Pat?
I think this is his last shot. And I'm just going to be honest with you. If he goes over there to the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes complains and Andy Reid gets rid of him because he's not producing, that's it. You going from Brian Daboll, I get it. He's a first-year head coach, but he's respected. And then you go to probably the most respected coach in the league and do the same thing, you're done.
And you got to think too. You got Kafka, who coach with Andy Reid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, on the Giants. So hey, look, he's gonna be playing in much similar of a system.
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
So that's why I think
some of that stuff. You don't think Kafka's relaying some of that stuff about Tony, maybe to Andy Reid about some things to watch?
So. Andy Reid is probably like, well, let me see if I can work with him.
No, you want to know why I think he didn't relay anything about Tony to him? Because Kafka said this was crazy. This is the first time I've ever seen something like this. So Kafka was still believing that he was going to be able to create plays for Kadarius Toney.
But that
And
makes more sense to me though now to go to Andy Reid, because if Kafka thinks that he could do something with Kadarius Toney, the mastermind and Andy Reid's got to have something up his sleeve.
yeah, but that's the point I'm getting to. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
Kafka said anything bad about Kadarius Toney. I think Now you know who's running the show.
Yeah,
Nobody knew
Brian Dable.
nobody knew
Okay,
about anything except Dable and Shane.
those two
And
are a
maybe
package deal, man.
and maybe Mara because he's the owner and they ran it by him. I mean, he's not going to say anything to go
Yeah,
against
right,
it. He's too busy cheering in the booth because we're winning. He don't give a
right.
shit. Get rid of him.
They're walk on water right now. They could do anything they want.
Right. As long as
Yeah,
they don't, as long as they
absolutely.
don't come there, as long as they don't come there and say they want to trade DJ Saquon Barkley, he's going to be with it.
Absolutely.
Well,
But
yeah.
I mean, just I'm not gonna. It might be the best thing we did get that dude, because now we got 11 picks again in next year's draft. We got 11 picks
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Just went over that.
And more cap space to operate with too. If you
Yep.
want to
Yeah,
use some of those
because
draft picks to pick up a wide receiver.
all his money is picked up by the Chiefs now. So
Yep.
I just want to say this to the fans that are saying this is a dumb move. This is why I don't like Joe Shane and Brian Dable. They're snakes. They're this. They're that.
Oh, I
Look at
always
the
said they're
tweet.
wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, look at the shit that he just put on Twitter.
Yeah.
Somebody made a little joke. You say, "Yeah, that would be funny if I was still hurt." Why would you say that? You see what I'm saying? Now
Mm-hmm.
you could get yourself in trouble and the Giants in trouble,
Yeah.
and get that trade put on hold if it comes out to be true. I mean, this dude, he's too. Like, I don't even know what to say about this dude because he's not emotional. He doesn't show emotion like that. I mean, Coach, could you just say immaturity, maybe?
I think that's exactly the word for it. Just
Yes, I mean,
immature.
it's that, and to be
Thank you,
brutally honest,
Scott.
because you said it, he doesn't like basically people going at him. He's not built for New York. That's
No,
really what
he's
it
not.
boils down to. He's not built for New York because in New York, we're gonna hold you accountable, and we're gonna go after
Well,
you, right,
hold
wrong, or
on,
indifferent.
Coach,
Yeah.
because Kansas City ain't no joke either.
See, I don't know the fan base, so I always hear Kansas
That
City
fan base,
is. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Kansas City will eat him alive if he goes over there and pulls the same shit.
Oh, okay.
Because
But
they're
you know
used
what?
to they're winners. They're
Right, but
winners. They're
you
proven
can
winners.
hide
Go
that
ahead,
over
man.
there, right? You can hide that over there. DeAndre Baker went there, and he's now fizzled out, right? So I think Andy Reid will be able to do what they need to do. The media market won't be so savvy on there. They're a little nicer over there in terms of media savvy. The team may not be, but the media is. Our media, if you pick your nose with your left hand and you were supposed to be a right-handed player, they're gonna be like, "Hey, man, you're picking your nose with the wrong hand, man. You're not doing it right." You know what I'm saying? They'll do
I,
anything and find anything against somebody. Sorry.
I think the thing is though, the Giants wanted Tony to be a number one receiver. He's going to Kansas City, not asked to be a number one receiver. You still got Kelsey, you still got Hardman.
You
You know
got
what I'm
Juju
saying?
Smith-Schuster. You
You
got
got Juju.
MVS.
So they're not gonna be looking for him to come in right away and say, okay, help our offense, like bring us up. And that's exactly what the Giants were looking for. And I think that's what hurt
Maturity. Okay.
Kadarius Toney
Goes,
because he had higher expectations. You know what I'm
goes to
saying?
what you were just saying, Pat. Then maturity. I mean,
Well,
valid point.
I think there, you're right there, NYG. He can be hidden a little bit more because he doesn't have to come out and be a starter or anything like that. But
Right.
when the playoffs come around, that's probably when you're going to start to hear his name more as the stretch
Mhm.
run comes in, right? When he gets, 8 weeks in, they'll probably do what we didn't see him do. They'll probably throw a screen pass to him. They'll probably put him out on a kickoff return every once in a while, try to get him acclimated to what they do. And then once he's fully invested in the plays that they get for him, he'll be out there. This is almost like a basketball trade in a way, right? Where you're just dumping a guy in a salary and getting back draft capital. You don't normally see these kind of trades in the NFL because, they don't do that. In the NBA, you'll trade like 10 guys and get a draft pick, and those guys will never play for you. But this guy might actually do something for Kansas City.
And it's also kind of funny too because you don't really see these types of trades with a team that's 6-1 right now, flying high, that truly has a deficiency at the wide receiver position, and and the Giants go out there and trade a guy at the wide receiver position. But yes, he has a lot of injury issues, but he
He
also
sure
has a
do.
lot of talent that can help this team out. So
Everything else,
that's something that you don't usually see a whole lot in the NFL with a good team. But I mean, I wish Kadarius Toney the best. I really do. I hope he has a good, successful career over there in Kansas City. I hope they can bounce back. But this should be a wake-up call to this guy that, you know what? Maybe whatever I was doing before in New York, I got to stop it. I gotta start
No,
focusing
it's
a little
not.
bit
It's
on the
not.
football
It's
team. It
not, Jeff.
better,
It's not.
it better, or
Jeff,
he's gonna be out of the league.
Jeff, he just posted today. Remember what I just wrote? I just said that he posted that joke would have been funny if I was actually hurt still. Irrelevant people don't get updates. That points to what Pat is just saying about immaturity. I
Then
mean,
he's
now
not
that
gonna
I
be in the
said,
league too long. He's gonna be gone.
yeah,
Teams aren't
he's
gonna put
gonna.
up with him.
It's not a wake up call for him because he still thinks that in a sense, this is a joke. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what? Good riddance then. Because at the same time he was asked about it, playing time, right? Wasn't he asked about it? And he's like, I don't care if I make one play or two plays as long as we win. So his attitude was fine in that regard. Like, all right, fine. He's gonna just toe the line. And even people were kind of getting excited, like, all right, well, after the bye, he's gonna come back. We're gonna have him back now. And now that he's gone, it makes you wonder, like, well, what's next? Because there's got to be something next. This guy's always shown this dude Joe Shane's like I keep telling people, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Don't admire that smile because nobody is safe.
He's an aggressive GM. Yep, he's gonna make moves to help improve his team.
Like, for example, and I know people hate me on this, but let's say Anthony Richardson's in the draft, right? And he wants to go up and get a guy because he thinks in a couple years this guy is going to be the next Josh Allen. He could go make that move. I could see Joe Shane be like, you know what? We're going to do that. I know we signed Daniel to a 3-year deal, but why not get a guy in here on a cheaper deal? I mean, these are the type of things that this GM is going to think about, and that's why nothing is going to surprise me come draft time, come off season.
No, it doesn't surprise me.
Okay.
Like we have money.
I'm gonna have to log off. I got to do a couple things, but great stream, guys. Appreciate the 24 in the chat. Really appreciate it, Jeff. You guys have been killing it.
Thank you, man.
Let's go, Eagles.
No.
You would ruin your sign off with that.
Ruin it. I made it better. At least we don't have,
no, Mitch.
at least we don't have.
Aren't you leaving?
Mitch,
At least I don't have.
Mitch, look who you're surrounded by right now. Okay, don't. You're surrounded by Giants fans. It's a loss for you. Just take the L and go.
Don't.
Take the L. Okay, we're 6-0, buddy.
Yeah, I think the future is bright with this team. Don't be surprised if they just stand pat and go with what they have at receiver going forward. I think it's Jerry Jeudy or bust. I don't see them going after DJ Moore with his contract. I don't think the Steelers are willing to give up on Claypool. There is a Kendrick Bourne rumor out there that the Patriots are willing to get rid of Kendrick Bourne, but I don't think he's better than Marcus Johnson or anybody on this roster. No. So I think it's Jerry Jeudy or bust. Jerry Jeudy fits what Brian Daboll loves to do as far as offensive scheme. And we have
but
two
let me ask you this,
picks.
Pat. Let me ask you this: what price point is too much for Jerry Jeudy? Because they're going to. They know the Giants are desperate. So when a desperate person, you can kind of raise the price on him, right? So what do you think it's going to take to get him here?
But are we really desperate though, Adam?
That's
we are 6-1. We don't have to make a move. It'd be nice to make a move, but we could still stand pat.
Well, what I'm saying is that
he didn't play anyway.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that they don't have to give him up because they could say, you know what, we have Russell Wilson here. We want to keep our pieces, and you need a guy to get over the top. Now we don't necessarily need him, but we're going to need somebody because eventually the league is going to catch up with us, and they're going to be like, all right, none of these guys are going to really scare us. We're going to put all our effort into stopping DJ and Saquon. Now, if you add Jerry Jeudy, they can't really do that. They can't focus the attention on those two guys. And I know that if I'm Denver, I just gave up all these picks for this quarterback who now is going to be here because we've signed him to an enormous contract. I need to get some draft capital back. That's all I'm saying.
So is Denver? Denver might be more desperate than we are, if that's what you're saying. If
Denver's looking to trade, I think they're going to trade either Hamler or Jeudy. It looks like they're putting both those guys possibly on the block.
And either one works for me.
I'm a little
Go
worried
ahead,
about
Pat.
Hamler. He is coming off a serious injury, but go ahead, Pat.
I'm not giving Denver no higher than the third round pick for Jerry
Mm-hmm.
Judy.
What
I
about
agree.
third and the
And
fifth? Just one.
I'm not giving Denver nothing but a third round pick for Judy.
Yeah,
Reason why? He's disgruntled. Russell Wilson's not playing well, especially if they lose to the Jaguars. They lose to the Jaguars, they're gonna be like, man, look here, because they're trying to get rid of Bradley Chubb. And
yeah,
if I could get a third round pick for Tony, the third round pick for Jerry Judy is fair enough.
yeah.
And I don't see
Absolutely.
Brian Dave. I mean Dabo or Shane giving up anything higher than the third round pick because their first and second round picks, I think that's untouchable to just
Mm.
about any player in the league. I truly believe that they're willing to build in the draft. That's why they got the draft capital they just got for Tony. They're willing
Well,
to go into the draft and build that way.
here's the flip side of what you're saying. And I keep telling people that they're going to lose 25 people or close to it on next year's roster. Like if you go down the roster, there's like I counted at least 20 guys on their last year of their deal, and then a couple guys cut, and then the possibility of Jones and Barkley leaving. So I include them in the 25. That's a lot of people. Plus you have 11 draft picks that you got last year. So if you look at it right now, that's 11 draft picks is half of what is left on the team. Then you get these now 9. Now you have what 19, 20 guys that are going to be here for 4 or 5 years. That's a good core to start building. Then you can really start to make trades in 2024 and 2025 where you want a Stephon Diggs type of player. You can be like, listen, we got our guys, we got some depth, we got our players in, we have our base. Let's go chase this now. You know what I mean? So I agree with you on that point. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean that's what they did with the Bills, and they're doing the same thing over
Mm-hmm.
here.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
2 years of 11 draft picks, and I know that a lot of those guys got hurt, but they were producing before they got hurt. So you get all those guys back, and do you put 11 more picks with this team because they hit on a lot of those picks? Man, I'm telling you, you're gonna have depth after wazoo. You go into next year. If we're 6-1 this year and make a playoff push this year, who knows what we could do next year with DJ Saquon Barkley? You put a receiver out there with him.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I think
I
we're
And
agree.
set
this
up. I,
defense.
I think we're set up. And we're looking pretty right now. No,
Mm-hmm.
we're not desperate for a receiver. We got rid of a receiver that never played. He had 2 catches and 0 yards on the season.
Yeah.
So getting rid of Tony doesn't mean we're desperate for a receiver. That means that they just cut bait with a guy they felt didn't fit the culture of this team. Like I said this earlier, when the team was celebrating victories, you never seen Kadarius Toney. You never seen
No.
Kadarius Toney on the sideline cheering. A lot of the times he wasn't even at the game. They didn't even let him come to London. So I was
You
like,
saw
so
Nick
Yeah.
Gates. You saw Nick Gates. You saw Sterling Shepard. You saw
Sterling
those guys
yeah,
Shepard.
all the time,
Yeah.
front and center, all the time celebrating with that team. Where's Tony?
right.
Mm-hmm.
And when he didn't come to London, I was like, okay. And they said he got another hamstring, and then they didn't even let you come to London. Well,
Yeah.
you're not gonna be able to fly because you got a hamstring injury. Come on, that man Sterling Shepard flew to London and he had a torn ACL.
Yes, he did.
Yep.
So I knew something like this was coming. I was just holding out hope, like a lot of Giants fans. Maybe this dude could come back and be the guy that they want. But obviously, something went on behind the scenes, and I believe the guy that's going to leak it out is Kadarius Toney. I think he's going to start talking very soon. He's already talking. His bash campaign against the Giants might be here very early, and that lets me know that cryptic tweet that about Galladay, what he says Galladay ain't nothing. I think him and Galladay got into it, and maybe I don't know. Maybe Galladay comes back and gives that effort as far as running routes, and maybe
Yeah.
he can do something coming back. Who knows?
Yeah.
That's
But
the
I
other
know
part to it, Pat. What's this mean for Galladay?
Yeah.
it means that he gets a
Maybe.
chance to come back off his knee injury, and if he doesn't do anything, he's going to be cut anyway after next year. But
Mm.
he's playing for his career with the Giants, and maybe his career period too.
Yeah.
But you can't get rid of Galladay. I believe if they were able to trade Galladay, they would have done that
Mm-hmm.
also.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely. They're
31
gonna have to
mil.
ride it out with this year, and hopefully they can get anything from him when he comes back, because he'll probably be back after the bye week, most likely. And then they'll integrate him into the offense, try to see if they can get him a few targets in a game, get him more acclimated, and get anything out of this guy to maybe help him with a playoff push going into the playoffs. So I mean, I know we're all down on Galladay. We're all making fun of him. Can't get right, going all day. Whatever the things we say about Galladay, but at the same time, the guy's on the team. We have to hope he can come back. I mean, I don't really know if there's any real attitude issues besides that one comment that he made earlier in the season about how he wanted to get targeted more. He felt like he should get targeted more because he's Kenny effing Galladay, but still, he's gonna get his opportunity now. He's going to get his opportunity when he gets back from injury, and he's got to take advantage of it, like you said, Pat, like you guys said.
Shout out to Dilla because that might be true too. He said the liar got what he wanted. Kadarius Toney might have wanted out of New York. Maybe that's why he didn't show up to OTAs.
Mm-hmm.
And Dilla is another one that was very negative. I was talking about Toney not wanting to buy him with this team either. Besides Miz, Dilla was another one, and he looks smart right now.
So maybe he wanted out, and it was like, okay, to get a third round pick, he had to be working on this for multiple weeks, maybe since the beginning of the season.
That's a high pick to get for a guy that
right
wasn't
and
on the
field. Maybe he had a second rounder in the offseason, and that punk, whoever leaked it, and that team was like, oh yeah, you desperate to get rid of him? Well, put it down to a fourth. And it was like, you know what? We'll hold on to him. We'll see what we can make work with him. We're not accepting anything lower than what we agreed to in the first place. They fired because somebody got fired immediately after that happened. After that report came out after that report came out about Kadarius Toney maybe getting traded, immediately after that somebody was fired. So Pat Leonard, punk ass, put that out there and probably stopped the second round pick for Kadarius Toney. Probably to the same team, the Chiefs.
Absolutely.
More than likely, because I don't see any other teams giving up draft capital to get him.
Right.
I don't want Chris Godwin either. Chris Godwin is a.
And he's hurt. He's banged up.
He's always hurt.
Didn't he get paid?
He's a slot. Yeah, he got paid.
He got paid. They have two receivers on that team that are paid big money, and look at them right now. The Bucs are a mess right now too.
So
no,
I mean,
I don't want Chris Godwin.
Kadarius Toney is traded. I believe this organization finally got that huge cloud from over them, the Kadarius Toney cloud. That what if he can do this? Oh, Kadarius Toney is so talented. Why aren't you playing him? Kadarius Toney this, Kadarius Toney that. Now they don't have to worry about that. They can move forward. Now they can say Kadarius Toney ass ain't here. We're moving forward with the receivers that we have, or they go out and get a Jerry Jeudy, more than likely. So I'm happy about the trade. Huh?
I said I'd like Jerry Jeudy.
Me too.
There was a big fan of him. He's just had injury issues too over there, and he's had pretty bad quarterback play in Denver as well. So maybe this
Higgins would be the prize guy, but Jeudy ain't a bad consolation.
I'd take Jeudy. He maybe not. He's maybe not.
Higgins is not going anywhere this season. Bengals are still in the playoff push, and they have him on a contract, on a rookie contract.
That's an all-season deal, yeah.
Yeah, they're not trading T. Higgins unless they don't make the playoffs, and he starts to ask for his money.
That's what I kind of figured because they have a three-headed monster going on over there, and they just started to trade him now? They just started to make their ascension to winning, right? They just won, and now they're 4-3 or something like that. And you think that they're going to go on?
His deal ain't up until what, 2024?
Yeah, so you still get him.
Okay,
but the best guy to get would probably be Jeudy, only because again, you probably can have him for cheap. You have an extra third round pick now that people like, right? They like that as draft capital. So go give one of those picks that you got for him. And go, if you even have to throw in a fifth to sweeten the deal, fine. I don't care. Give him a fifth round pick.
He's a first round pick too, so if he plays well, if you trade for him, he plays well the rest of the season and next year.
You get to pick up his option.
You pick up a fifth-year option, then you could eventually negotiate a long-term deal. So you have
that's why I think it's the perfect fit for every one of the guys that we talked about, because everyone minus Jeudy everyone was drafted in the 2020 draft, except the only exception is he has that fifth-year option, right? Yeah. So that means you get to hold him for another 3 years. You get him half this year, you get him in 2023, 2024, and you can decide in 2025 if he's producing for you to keep him long term, or if not, you can trade him. But that's what we always got to look at, the finances and contracts. That's why I always tell people, like, yeah, we may sign all these players that you guys want, but at the end of the day, are you going to sign this player to give up that player? Because if you sign a big guy now, you're not signing Andrew Thomas. You know what I'm saying? So these are the things that we talk about. And NYG brought it up. He's like, the quarterback situation. Some people have their big time quarterback and they draft a receiver. Other people have a quarterback that they didn't pay, and that's when they get the big time receiver. So these are one of those things where go get the guy, see what Daniel can really do with a number one guy, and deal with the finances later in the offseason.
Yeah, Jerry Judy has 24 receptions, 386 yards, 16.1 yard average, 2 touchdowns on the
Almighty.
And
season.
that's more production.
What's T.Y. Hilton? What is he right now?
Nah, I'm good on Ty.
No, I don't want T.Y. Hilton. Not at this stage of his career. No, there's
I
a
don't
reason why he's
I don't
still
want a
on the
guy that's on
fucking.
AARP, right, on
Yeah.
his retirement plan. No, thank you.
Pat, go
What,
ahead.
what
I'm
was you
sorry.
saying though, Pat? You was like,
Go
yeah,
ahead, Pat.
Yeah, Jerry, that's more production from Jerry Judy than almost 2 or 3 our receivers combined. But
exactly.
I think it might be a whole wide receiver core combined.
I just want to come on, show some support to you guys, and talk about this Kadarius Toney thing.
Thank you, Pat. Sincerely,
Uh,
thank you, bro.
We'll be live on Joe's channel for Thursday Night Football. I'm quite sure Joe is going to want to talk about it when he gets there. And
Pat, if you want
Miz,
to drop your link in the chat too, you can drop your link for some that might not be subbed up to you. So at least because you're a mod, so if you want to drop your link in the chat, you can, so people know where to go to sub up to your channel.
I'm looking at the chat, and most of them guys are already with me.
All right, never mind then.
Yeah.
I've
All
been
of them are with
pimping.
me. All right, but I appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, we say 5.5 million Eric Davis over 3 years.
Yeah.
Kadarius Toney is gone. That Kadarius Toney cloud is gone. So we move forward. To the people that are disappointed, I don't know what you're disappointed about. The man had 2 catches for 0 yards this year. I don't understand where the
And he
disappointment
didn't do
is
nothing
coming
in the
from.
year before too. He had like 100, 200 yards in his first year. He did nothing that season too.
So it is what it is, man. He had 1 good game against the Cowboys where he broke the rookie Giants record. That's great, but he did nothing after that. So go get Jerry Judy if you can get him for a 3rd round pick. If not, we stand pat. We go to the Seahawks, go to the 12th man, beat them 7-1. We go into the bye week, get healthy, and come out and try to make a run. But I'll see you guys later tonight on Joe's channel for Thursday Night Football, guys.
Thank you, Pat, for coming on,
All
bro.
right, Pat,
Appreciate
man.
it. Have a
Salute,
great
bro.
one.
All right.
See ya.
But I'm gonna close
Yeah,
out the stream in a little
Yeah, I'm
bit,
about to
guys.
jump off too. I was
So,
gonna
do
say
you
I'm
guys
about
have
to
any
jump off
final
too.
thoughts about this Kadarius Toney trade? What might happen in the next couple of days? I want to thank you guys for hopping on the stream with me. Sincerely, I just really threw this one together at the last second, and I want to thank you guys on the panel. If you guys haven't already, go sub up to Coach Ed Gladney's Amazing World of Sports, Unpopular Opinion Sports, AC, aka Adam Costas, Sevi Mizrahi, aka The Miz, also Mac the Giants fan, Mitch Kovsky, Big Pass Sports Talk, G Nation Inside Sports, Big Blue Crew in the house, in the building. Thank you guys so much, as well as the Hardcore Sports Network. Thank you guys so much for coming by the stream, but I'll let all you guys get your last points in there and let people know where they can find you as well. Start with you, Coach.
Well,
I'm sorry, you're starting with me, sir.
Yes.
You find me at Coach Ed. Coach Ed, Ed is EDD Gladney. Coach Ed's. I'm sorry, Coach
You
Ed's,
can
not Gladney.
find him at Judy Chop Gladney.
I'm sorry, Coach Ed, COACHEDDS, Amazing World of Sports. As far as this, I mean, we've all hit it on point. I mean, right now, it's, what? He's out of sight, out of mind. He hasn't been here. It's looking more and more like he didn't want to be here, even with his recent tweets. So it's, good luck to you. See you at the 50 when we have that opportunity. We're going to punch you in the face, and we're just going to keep it like that and keep moving. And I'm just looking for this team to keep on what they're doing with Coach Shane. I mean, with Shane, with Coach Dable, and everyone else. And rock with what we got right now, and until we get new players in here, whatever the case may be. That's it.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, you know me as NYG22, also known as Unpopular Opinion Sports. That's my YouTube channel. Um, go sub to a Popular Opinion Sports. You can follow me on Twitter, NYG22. Um, as far as the Tony situation is, man, I mean, it needed to happen. We all knew, we all talked about it. This whole wide receiver core was going to get remade anyway. Um, Good thing they were able to get something for him now and not wait to the off season, you know, where the price might have been a little bit less, man. So they made the right move. The timing was good. The team is 6-1. You know, it's not like we're in a fire sale or anything. You know, we just had to get rid of a guy that didn't want to be here, man. And shout out to Shane and Dable, man. They want guys that want to be on this team, man. And it's clear, you know, with the Blake Martinez situation, now with the Kadarius Toney situation, you know, guys that didn't necessarily want to be here, they got them out the door. And let's keep going, man. Like we said, man, on to Seattle, man. 7-1, here we come, man. But appreciate all y'all, man. I gotta hop off here right now, but appreciate you, Jeff. Appreciate all y'all, man, for being on the panel,
Appreciate you
man,
too, bro. Thank you so much for hopping on the
and
channel.
talking sports, man. No problem, man. We'll wrap later, man. See all you guys, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.
You too. Have a great
See
one,
you,
bro.
dude. See you, dude.
Well, I like to say my name is Adam Costas. You can find me on YouTube under the name Adam Costas. And I do a show called The Hurry Up, or a little, which I was going to do a video, but this is taking up most of my content, so I probably won't drop anything because everyone's going to know by the time, we come out there. But Kadarius Toney, good riddance. See you later. It was nice knowing you. Nice knowing you're doing nothing, but
Yeah.
it's fun. You can also find me with Jeffy T. We do a show called Premium Takes. Probably going to be a monthly show while we get the four horsemen together. Ride with us because we're going to give you everything from WWE to UFC, right? So and everything in between. So Premium Takes you can find me on, and then you can find me on The Real Deal NFC's Roundup. Mac's not here, so he would be proud of that one. But
Oh, he's in the chat. He hears you. He hears you on the chat.
So he and I do a show at 5:30 on Wednesdays. We recap the NFC East, give you all the ins and outs. Of course, they do this a day after our show drops. So if they couldn't do it on a Tuesday, they had to do it on a Thursday. So those idiots. But no, I'm just kidding. But anyways, that's where you can find me. Jeff, thanks for having me.
No problem, man. Thank you for
on
coming.
this.
I always love your energy, bro. Always love having you on the channel.
And I appreciate you. Like I said, you're one of the guys that I admire, and you're doing a great job. You're doing big things, so you keep doing what you're doing, okay, man?
You too, bro. I admire the work that you do as well, and everybody else in this community. I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for all of you. So I give all my love and respect and all the shout-outs to you guys for the hard work that you continue to put in. That's you as well, Mitch. Even though you're an Eagles fan, you put out some of the hardest work as well. So I got to give you credit.
I had to put this on.
Yeah, I'll give you credit. You put out a lot of great work too. You put out a lot of good content. So I got to give credit where credit is due as well. And
all right, fellas. Well, you have a great rest of your day. All right.
You too.
Thank you, Adam. You have a great rest of your day too. Mitch, do you want to plug your channel real quickly before we hop off?
Yeah, why the hell not? You can find me on YouTube at Mitch Topsy, Twitter Mitch Topsy, Hardcore Sports Network, where everything is there. You know, we got football, basketball, everything. Jeff is a huge contributor to that. I really appreciate it. And yeah, my show on Tuesday, MK Headlines, episode 50, is going to be with the great the legend, Desert Eagle 90. So it's me, Further Rainey is my co-host, and then Desert Eagle 90 is our guest. And it's going to be fun. And no more rants about Doc Rivers for a little bit. I'm getting tired of it.
Yeah, until the next day. So
no, it's going to be last night.
Thank you very much. We actually had over 30 strong in this chat. I did not in a million world to think that was going to happen. This was literally a stream that I threw together in like about 5 minutes. So I want to thank everybody that's been by the stream. Like I said, I want to thank Mitch. I want to thank Coach Ed Gladney. I want to thank Adam Costas, a.k.a. C. I want to thank Sebi Mizrahi, a.k.a. The Miz. I want to thank Unpopular Opinion Sports, a.k.a. MYG22. Big Pass Sports Talk, G Nation Inside Sports. I want to thank everybody. Mac the Giants fan, I want to thank everybody that was in the chat today. Thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate you guys. Sincerely, I would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. You guys are the reasons why I do this. You guys are awesome. thank you so much for coming by, representing for the New York Giants fans, never even representing for those Philadelphia Eagle fans out there at times.
Thank
But
you.
thank you guys so much for coming. Damn right. No mess, no nest, no Jets. Let's go, motherfucking New York Giants. As in closing, I want to thank everybody. Have a great rest of your Thursday. Take it easy. And as I always say, let's go, New York Football Giants. Together blue. Everyone, have a great rest of your Thursday. Take it easy.